Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand finals for the EU Smite Little League. We have URock Cancel That versus Backstab Esports. I'm SuperSonicBlur, and joining me, as always, is going to be Illy for the cast.
This is going to be an interesting set, I think. Comings have the exact same win-loss, exact same game differential. Both of them have only dropped one singular game and 0 sets up until this point. So this really is the meeting of the two top teams in Europe for the Smite Little League. This is going to be a great game to watch. The
tussle at the top, if you will. But yeah, as you mentioned, both these two teams have shown a very high caliber of skill between them. We actually saw URock playing yesterday, so we'll see whether or not they can do as well this game. In terms of picks, though, URock, we've seen these kind of picks before. VER-VVX on a Mercury, not crazy. Going for the Guan Yu, we've seen this sort of play before, and it worked out well for them.
Guan Yu, I think, is an excellent pick into this comp. There's a circuit, but Guan Yu does one thing really well, and it's battle healing. And to me, unless the Zhongqi gets a really good Divine Ruin on everybody, and he's solo Zhong, so he's less likely to want to build that, they're going to have a tough time stopping the AoE healing from this Guan Yu.
Indeed. It's going to have to be looking more towards that Discordia for the Divine Ruin, and fair enough, she can proc it fairly well and fairly often just by using the Unruly Magic, just getting the little dinks in there, which reapply it for the full 8 seconds. But it's like you said, in terms of anti-healing, it's all on the circuit, and she has to decide, hey, I'm gonna dump it onto the Guan Yu rather than say catch off the Jibalonque and put that damage in there, or even on Sweet Cold on this Agni. It's in terms of the target selection, Immortal's got his time cut out for him this game.
And this to me, a game about who does better protecting their backline, because there are there are 4 characters in this game that really like to dive. The Guan Yu and the Mercury can both dive fairly well, though I think Guan is better in your own backline, but besides the point, he can dive. Zhong can dive, and Circuit can dive. If the Geb shields are on point, from Mighty God here against the Mercury plays, this could be a very tough game for VELMI Daddy to really pop off the same way he did yesterday.
Indeed, especially you go in for that special delivery, suddenly you've got a target who's not only now immune to the throw bit, but also now has up to 600 additional health. That's another auto, and Mercury's the god who wants to get things done quickly. That extra time takes a lot of it, that it kind of takes the wind out of his sails, as it were, as we see dual lane, bit of poke going the way of Backstab here. They do have a substitute in Jata, who we've seen before as well, but he will be subbing in for their game 1. But
Jata was the mid laner from Rice Baby in Europe, who had that 6 Scylla game.
I remember that.
It's a little bit different feel on the Jingwei than the Scylla, because you're really killing frontline rather than backline. So we'll see how this goes.
Indeed. Well, poke-wise, they're still just trying to poke it out. We mentioned yesterday with Yanrico, as I know his name is, how you can continuously use those branching bowlers very effectively. So they'll get the wave clear here and look to try and pressure it. They're actually going to go and get that invade, which is to be expected now. They've got this clear. Geb Jingwei, we'll see you in 20 minutes when you guys have some farm. Until then, let's try not to lose too much, as we see Immortal Swift and Lord Steino manage to pick up their own red buff, and we'll see the same thing happen over on the order side.
And it looks like neither mid lane has had enough pressure to manage to... Actually, Circuit's over here on the left side. It's a blink coming in. Cobra's Kiss on the Shiblake. Tail Whip, though.
Both sprints were used, but it's a sprint 3 on Jinfi, so that's a little bit more detrimental for them, feeling that it's gone. Mercury is here, but he's just clearing out the buff, so no invades potential for Backstab, and they will just manage to clean that one clear out. But I like the call for the Circuit play to just come in mid. You can put a little bit of pressure, even if it's just that coming out, then should be good works. Mid lane, bit of aggression. Mercury, though, pushing through some more damage, hiding in the fog. Discordia can't quite find anything, pushes 2 very low. The URock cancel that, but no kills yet.
Both players in the mid lane for URock cancel that were poked out very hard. And I'm looking at the Discordia build. She's gone for a Book of Thoth 2, probably a rush into a Soul Reaver here.
Could be.
This is going to allow her to get lane pressure a lot easier against the Agni.
Indeed. We do seem to be having a little bit of a decent history, so give us just a second while we get that all sorted out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back very shortly and very quickly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right.
Three, two, one, you're live.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the small technical difficulties, but going back to what you were said there, Backstab managed to poke out both mid and jungle of VER-VVX cancel that, but unfortunately not able to get a kill, and so fortunately with all the jungle being down, weren't able to punish it too hard. And you were mentioning Lord Steino's build here. We think it's going to be a Soul Reaver here with this rush.
You know, I could see it going either way.
Yeah.
Generally, when this happens, you want to rush Soul Reaver because your game plan is, I want to kill you a lot early. However, there is a Zhongqi in the solo lane, which wants to rotate after he's got items online. And there's a Gebjing Wei in the duo lane, which wants to hide for a very long time. So I could very much see this being a book thaw. Actually, on the left-hand side, though, Mighty God's plucked out of position.
Awkward situation, but Circuit's here, blinks in. Cobra's Kiss is able to get one. Jean very low, gets walled off, and Jtar will be the one who manages to pick it up. Substitute may be, but he is still going to have times here. It just appear despite our best efforts here, ladies and gentlemen. So give us a couple minutes. We're going to try and
3, 2, 1, live.
Okay, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the extended delay there. We do believe we have fixed all the gremlins, but I won't say anything just yet, lest we jinx it. But
Wait, did you feed them after midnight again?
No, didn't. I didn't do that. I may have been awake after midnight, but that's not the case.
Regardless, though, we're getting back into game. Just a quick recap. Backstab managed to get first blood in a Circuit gank over in dual lane. Speaking of dual lane, Mighty God loves Sobek plucks. Like, Jean-Phi has plucked this guy like 4 times, and one of those times Jean-Phi got killed by Immortal Swift on the Circuit. So
I kind of feel like it's sorry,
come back to bite him, you know?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the thing. Sobek pluck is the double-edged sword. It basically
really
swaps your position with someone else's. And in these situations, Jean-Phi's actually been put at a disadvantage because there hasn't been anyone else to follow up with it. Yanrico's doing a good job of poking, and actually like what they're doing here of zoning the wave. It's not very effective, but they are slowly denying creep. They are slowly denying the creep there to Backstab. But when you have a Circuit and a Jingwei who could follow up in response to the Sobek block versus Asia Balonkwe who's being controlled by a Geb who's in front of him now, it just works out for a first blood there.
You know, I think this Jingwei Geb lane should not be winning. You know, and the fact that Immortal Swift recognizes that, comes over and puts them in a position to win is very impressive. Really nice. I think Backstab dealt with a weakness in their draft very well with the Circuit pressure.
I mean, we saw it immediately as soon as level 2 was done, as soon as the red buff was dropped, instantly over there, blinking on cooldown. He did it again the second time, blinks in Cobra's kisses, and it worked out incredibly well for them. You can see, ward vision-wise, they have the path that would most likely be you rock cancel that. They know if they have any response, if they push up too far, if they could get punished for it. So really nice recognition of how well their lane's going for them.
That bottom gold area and top gold area are real ward hotspots for me, because you might catch junglers coming from red and you might catch junglers coming from mid. The only place you won't catch them from is if they come from their back camps. So, you know, when you're in your ranked games, that's a good strategy as a jungler to rotate to your back camps on duo side and then rotate to lane, because a lot of times that path isn't working.
Talking about looking for rotation wise, do see the double rotation over towards an invade on the mid camps. Geb and Circuit weren't able to strip anything away and do show pressure, which keeps Not Crazy sat back into this lane. But Mercury, that was scary. He's actually still getting aggressed on, but will manage to get himself to safety. Now that that ward has been placed, they'll know as soon as those camps are going for, and they can look for an invade and potentially another kill there.
And Jean-Phi has had lane pressure, if not lane dominance, over here in solo, as you'd expect from a mage against Guan Yu, especially a mage that can stun out Guan Yu's favorite form of clear. So this Jean-Phi may have enough pressure to start invading these solo side back camps and start putting Mercury a little bit behind.
Well, we can see how much Badat or SM Badat is looking to do this. He's actually elected to go for a sprint as his first relic rather than the teleport. So it's definitely looking to just try and be a little bit more aggressive in here and force Guan Yu to back at least as many times as he will, but use that sprint. Even just to get back to lane. You could see people do that in the past. I know Zalia's been someone who's done that fairly often.
Slight difference in support builds here. Backstab's support, Mighty God, has decided to rush the Gauntlet of Thebes before Boots. Normally, this start makes me very sad. However, what I will say is it's clearly Backstab's plan to wait until the late game, or at least the mid-game area, and then he probably wants to spike a little bit faster by getting Thebes online sooner, and he's not rotating much. He's staying in lane. So while generally this is a bad idea, he can probably make it work in this instance.
Indeed. Plus also as well, as you mentioned before, Sobek's going to pluck him out of position anyway. Having movement speed isn't going to matter if you're getting CC'd that much. So in this regard, just being those tanky. Yeah, and true, you can argue if he dodges the Sobek pluck, he doesn't get plucked in the first place. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If he had the goal to back for it fully, then you can make the argument for it, get it online early. But at the same time, that's 2,400 gold. That's a big investment.
I would have preferred Boots here, personally, especially because your Discordia has gone for Soul Reaver, first item. So Discordia wants to have pressure, and your Geb says, I don't have Boots now. my Cataclysm is basically useless except as peel. So you've got no initiation until Geb gets boots online at least.
That's true, that's true. But it does seem, as you mentioned, that sort of mid-game farming point is where they're going to want to look for Backstab. When you can get this, Jean Kui having, say, maybe Higenji's guard finished and his Celestial Legion, which he now has finished. Once he gets these items online and can start rotating.
Meanwhile, left-hand mid-camps, Mighty God was plucked out of position at mid-camps, trying to solo them as a Geb. Mercury ult's going to come through. Sonic boom to the dome.
That wasn't a
Mighty
bust.
God.
Interesting look from the Circuit. Gets stunned out in midair from the ambush. Will manage to get away to safety. So 2 ults in exchange for the kill. Mighty God probably not looking too happy about that though. And yeah, that does come down to this, the instance of he just doesn't have the movement speed to follow up with it.
Right. Maybe if he went reinforced Greaves, he's alive there. You know, because he stepped in Agni Flame Wave. He had Agni passive ignite. Meanwhile, left.
Jingwei forced very far back, does use the knock up from special delivery to get back, but closes the distance was Jin, so just having to expend that ultimate there. Nice look to try and just abuse the pressure that Urok had managed without having that Geb for safety. Don't get anything off it though, which is a shame.
Checking out ward coverage right now. Couple of sentries out on the map for Backstab, which I think are very key. They're good positions too. There's one aggressive sentry, and you might be saying, well, why aren't they killing that ward? You know, they don't care that Agni put a ward at those top left mid camps as long as they know there's a ward there, because it can affect how you want to rotate.
Indeed. It can also as well just lead them into a false sense of security because they think we've got this area warded. We don't have to worry too much about any rotations. You may see maybe a Mercury hiding around that corner. If you just get rid of it and say it's sentry warded, then they will know that this is a spot where they're going to have to pay a little bit more attention with wards. So it's a little bit of a mind games, and it still works out well for Backstab here.
I do like to see everybody buying sentries right now in this game.
I'm so happy.
Agni's got sentries, Sobek has sentries, Geb has sentries, Circuit has sentries. This feels really, really good to see so many players realize that D-wards are very important in the early game. That's when you need them so much, because you need to know where people are rotating, and you also need to know what they know about your rotations, which is what D-wards do.
Indeed, not only giving yourself that vision, but just taking it away and earning yourself 50 gold in the process. I mean, 3 out of 4 entrances for Backstab are currently sentry warded. He's gonna see that as Agni gets a little bit of poke put onto him. So does the Sobek. Cobra's Kiss is good. Follow up. They're still looking for it. Forces the lurking in the water as red buff was stripped away by Mercury beforehand, so no potential for an invade, but a nice blink last breath play should see Sobek falling.
3 bombs off the mark from Agni, but the Path of Flames claims the life of Lord Steino. Meanwhile, in the backline, VER-Me Daddy blinks and kills Immortal Swift, taking down the Circuit.
Well, red buff still hasn't been picked up by anyone yet, so they're just wasting the time on it. Agni will make it in time, but Geb is still looking to try and find some follow-up. Cataclysm is good. Onto Yanrico, but Mercury's on the backside. 2 people stunned out by the Agni bombs, forces the airstrike, and Geb will fall in response to it. Not a great
Fatalis doing some work for VER-Me Daddy right now. And actually, it's going to be a Gold Fury call.
Love it.
This is a good call. You've got Mercury for objective damage. You've got Agni and Shablanke that can ranged trade this objective very easily. That was a disciplined and correct gold call because of the ward vision that Urok Cancel That has with that aggressive sentry on top lefts, the defensive sentry on top rights, and the physical vision of being able to see towards the red button.
I mean, not only that as well, but no one was physically there who could do anything. Geb had already burnt his ult, so even if he was still alive, he wasn't going to be able to steal anything. Jingwei had already burnt the airstrike as well. Disco was dead, so was Immortal Swift. Like, there was no one there who could offer any kind of contesting for it. I mean, you'd have to have Badat teleport into tier 1 tower and then book it down there to even try and contest it. And that just wasn't going to happen. There was no way Not Crazy would let him get away with that.
So far in this game, it's really showing Sweet Cold, VER-Me Daddy are both performing very, very well so far. Sobek's going to go ahead and pluck I'm not sure this is going to lead to anything.
No, there was no one there for it. It's one of those situations where you look at it and go, all right then, you've plucked me. Congratulations. What are you going to do with this?
Boom, though.
Boom comes
That's a special delivery from VE-Daddy, gonna clean up Immortal Swift again.
We're on the backside. We see Not Crazy looking for it. Does manage to hit one. Block onto Discordia, pushes it away, but the Geb shield's still good. Good kiss and Cataclysm. Good for Peel, but Lucky in the Water's now slowing everyone down. Jata is rotated around the back. Good bomb stun, but Gene still picks up Lord Steno. Now Not Crazy's going to pick up the Mighty God. And now all 5 members from UROC Cancel that have rotated into this mid lane. They're going to push it.
Fight. It was a good pick. And even though Jingwei rotates, is going to force the beads and the dash away there. JT almost cleaning up VE-Daddy. He's got a crit build online right now.
Oh, no. Oh, Jan. Methinks Jan may have had a bit of a technical difficulty there. Yeah. So unfortunately, that tier 1 tower won't end up falling. Yanrico ends up having a bit of a DC here, but break down that fight. You mentioned how clean that fight was, and it turned up out of nowhere. We were talking about how plucks off, and then suddenly VE-Daddy explodes into the scene.
Well, it was a pluck on the Mighty God to push him just a little bit farther back out of position, while Mercury swept in from the right side jungle. He's got that sentry ward on bottom rights, allowing him to charge his ult there for free because nobody can see him. And since he'd already started charging it, you didn't hear the clap. That pushes Geb back, who's gone for the Thebes build, so he's squishy right now, and allows for the Mercury to put in tons of damage alongside the Agni bombs, and Jean-Phi is just saying, I'm Sobek with the Sobek passive and physical defense. Jingwei doesn't hurt. Neither does Circuit.
Indeed. And I think Circuit actually got a little bit baited on the ward vision there. I think they were trying to clear a sentry ward out. And so as a result, just lined themselves up perfectly. They get exploded on and collapsed on. And that was a follow-up that we didn't think Jean-Phi was going to do. And even though he had already used the play, had his tail whips to cause that everyone was free casting onto Immortal.
And JTA is in a good position right now. You know, he's got 2 levels on Yanrico. However, JTA's rotation doesn't matter as much because his team has already lost the fight by the time he gets there.
And ult for ult wise, we'd already seen Yanrico use the Darkest of Nights, which is up there as one of the top 2 team fighting ultimates for a hunter. Other ones looking at are things like Caledonian Boar and maybe Mounted Cavalry from Hachiman, but nothing will ever quite beat the bind or the blind.
Mounted Cavalry?
I think it's mounted archery. I'm thinking I'm getting confused. It's mounted archery. I'm thinking a cavalry charge, but
if you've ever met cavalry that isn't mounted, I want to know about it because that's something.
Situation. Jingwei still very low, not able to find anything. Jean-Phi uses the lurking in the waters, gets a lot of the work there. Pluck back onto the Geb. Don't believe he has rollout. Will be forced to use the Cataclysm to try and knock up. Gets himself the safety under the tier 1 tower. But a clean pick that Jata just couldn't respond to. He'd already burnt his beads in the last engagement. Already burnt his ult in the last engagement.
Good picks from UROC. Cancel that. But
what are they getting off it?
Gold Fury. Exactly. They haven't really gotten much. And you check the graphs, and that'll tell you. There's 1,000 gold lead right now for UROC. Cancel that. That's it. You know, that's one. Actually,
do go the way.
Oh, the Gold Fury pit there. Immortal Swift putting down the punishment onto VE-Daddy right there. Is able to get the last breath out. However, no relics forced other than Mercury's beads.
Ooh, Agni getting a bit frisky in the mid lane. 3 Agni bombs, I believe, were used onto the Geb. Only 2 ended up hitting, but pushes him back, forces him to go back to base. Unfortunately, Gold Fury still hasn't quite respawned, so they can't try and bait the fight round there. But this is the point in the game where I feel Backstab need to start looking at their Jean-Qui and saying, hey, come on, we want to fight right about now. Like, we've got our power lights. As soon as this Discordia finishes up what I can only assume is going to be the Chronos Pendant, as soon as that gets finished on, I'm looking at this team and saying, hey, we want to fight right about now with 5 people here.
An excellent realization from Discordia at this point to realize, hey, their support is building Thebes into sovereignty. He doesn't have the Heartward online yet, so I don't need Pen immediately. I can build a little more power, be a little more greedy. And like you mentioned, the Jean-Qui has just hit a nice spike finishing Voidstone. He really wants to start rotating into fights once he's spent his money.
I mean, he's a big boy. That's what solo laners like to do. They like to rotate into fight and be like, "Hi guys, bet you wish you'd already camped me in the early game because now I'm level 17 and
He's
I'm
level
running."
17.
No one is
that's
close
a
to that
big
except
number.
Guan Yu.
Right. So this Zhonghui can really make a huge difference if he backs, spends this 2.3k gold he's got in hand, and
That's a full
rotates to a
pestilence.
fight.
That's like a full pestilence. That's a spear of the Magus if he wants to. That's a divine ruin if he wants to. He has an option of picking up a really important team fight item here to set something up. Looks like they're going to be
Divine
moving
ruin.
around this side for the Pyromancer. They'll grab this first whilst they still have some vision. So they will grab this, and I think this is a nice call. If they don't want to try and risk the Gold Fury, then they'll just go for this instead. Geb now putting a little bit of work for the sentry, but Mercury's wrapping around the back. Not crazy is here. Cataclysm used. A nice peel, but VER-VVX gets around the backside and picks up Immortal Swift as Zhonghui's already popped his ghosts.
Mercury in the backline getting very low. Discordia, though, tail whip is successful as the Aegis comes out. There's the Sonic Boom, but hits nobody. Made you look. Sends Lord Steino back to the fountain.
Zhonghui still in an awkward situation after already recalling demons now. Just finds himself around and surrounded by 4 people. Good stun from the Noxious Fumes will keep him, but in the meantime, Backstab pick up the Gold Fury. VER-VVX, though, puts down the Fat Man. Everyone now in an awkward spot. It's a 3 for none, but they do get Pyromancer and the Gold Fury in exchange for it.
Both objectives. That's a gold spike in the favor of Backstab as
now it's not working.
a solo kill on Yanrico in the duo lane after also soloing the Gold Fury. GTA is putting on a show.
Very nice work there. It was contested by Yanrico, but unfortunately he wasn't able to steal it away in there. That would have been a good look for VER, cancel that. But that being said, unfortunately, another DC taking place. Not crazy, unfortunately. He actually, in that last engagement, played really well in just terms of the healing when it came to it. And he was also the first person to really kind of offer any attempt at stopping this Pyromancer. Sure, Mercury was there, but he won't go in on that alone.
This Mercury is starting to scare me right now, Supersonic, because he's starting to hit critical mass. This Rage is about to get stacked. Looks like he's about to get a stone cutting sword online. He's got 1,700 gold. Stone cutting is very expensive, so
yeah,
it's going to take him a hot minute. But once he gets the stone cutting online with a Hasten Fatalis and a fully stacked Rage, he basically gets to say, I'm sticking to you. I'm going to punch you in the face like 5 times, and you're going to be dead. The person I'm looking at right now is he's going to try to kill SM at AT. At AT?
Yeah.
That's a...
Just call him Bad at this point. Because I'm not... Like I said yesterday, if you give me a stupid name, I'm gonna have to find a new way to say it, because I am not good with names. But yeah, that's Mercury, 7-2, 7-0 and 2 right now, but involved in 9 out of the total 11 kills. So he's been doing a fantastic work here, being where he needs to be, and he's holding these ults fairly well. We could have seen him just try and ult through onto the Pyromancer, but instead holds it out, knows that he's got Not Crazy coming in, so they can try and force a fight a different way, loops around the back, and Immortal Swift just gets deleted as soon as Pyromancer falls.
But, I mean, VER-VVX missed his ult that last fight at Pyro. He missed.
I mean,
and they still won the fights very, very convincingly. That's what I mean when this Mercury's starting to get scary. Because next time, he's going to do the same thing, except he's going to do it better.
Toby does it better, but you can sort of around that mid camp area, the sort of top right of the top right area in the mid camps. He came right the way down, almost through the fire giant pit. He was looking to try and cut off the Zhong there. Didn't quite find it, but put himself into a good position to chase out any further kills in the situation. I believe he ended up catching out Lord Steino in the end for it. So
smacked him with a Made You Look in the backline.
I mean, at the end of the day, is it really that bad if he missed it? It was more of a repositioning ultimate. Sure, the damage would be nice, but it got him another kill for ulting, so...
It did get him another kill, but Lord Steino had already dumped his kit. He'd already used all of his abilities. He'd already put out all of his damage. You're killing the mage, which is good, but you're killing the mage that's already used all of his damage. So, I mean, I'm not saying it was the wrong target. It was probably the right target. The fact that he didn't ult right away and didn't force actives right away on Lord Steino and waited was probably detrimental.
This is interesting to see for Stone of Binding there. I was curious to see where he was looking for it, but this Stone of Binding here, usually see this more as a bridge item early, but picking it up, 20 minutes into the game, is there a thought process behind this, or just I wanted to boost our team's damage output?
No, certainly there is a thought process behind it, and the thought process is I don't have a magical solo laner that can build this item. Stone of Binding is a very cheap, very effective item, and it provides both physical and magical defense. For the Sobek, who has not yet built Heartward, he's going to be a little bit squishy, but he still wants to help his team output damage on somebody that wants to dive. Especially, I'm looking at the Wackee, who's going to be very, very tanky, and he's probably going to be running at the Sobek because the Sobek's going to be helping out in his Mercury and his Agni in his own backline when they're there. Applying the Stone of Binding Wackee is a very good thing.
Yeah, and there's 15 penetration coming from this whenever you CC someone. So be that the tail whip, the knock up on that, be it the stun / knock up or knockback on the charge prey, be that the slow that comes out from lurking in the waters. Any one of those will apply. I'm not sure if anti-heal technically, no, Sickening Strike wouldn't do anything on that, but 3 out of his 4 abilities will apply this. Right. And that coupled in already, he doesn't have to worry too much. He's already seen that Lord Steino isn't building that much magical penetration right now. He's only sat with 10, and he's got the Void Stone for the Wackee to worry about. So he can afford to go into this, allowing him that 30 little bit of protections. And it kind of feels like he's trying to elevate his team to win more in these engagements and just help out VE-Daddy's damage output.
And the important part is that Stone of Binding provides all pen. And what I mean, it provides physical. 15 physical penetration is worth more than 15 magical penetration on average. And your Mercury has yet to build pen. So when you give him a little bit of damage boost, it makes a lot of difference.
Indeed. Well, unfortunate situation. Doesn't look like Not Crazy has been able to reconnect, so they have to just try and hold the fort as best they can in this situation. And it's kind of the all on going to be VE-Daddy now to have to try and really make sure that positioning-wise, he can make sure that his teams stay well. They have to just not lose too much in this engagement now.
Certainly not great to have your team fighting warrior from your solo lane disconnect, but
yeah, that's true.
On the other side of things, looking at the other solo laner, Wackee is elected for Midgardian Male, which makes a lot of sense into this market.
Love it, absolutely love it. If VE-Daddy doesn't follow up velocity, if he doesn't do that and he is going to be affected by those slows, that Hasten Katana starts to wane in how good it feels to be able to use. Yes, he's still going to be faster. It does look like Not Crazy has rejoined now, so no need to worry about a 4v5 situation. But this Midgardian Male, I absolutely love. Just given the Mercury, given the Jibalonque, I love it. I love it.
It's absolutely just flat out the right item. There's no more analysis than that. Actually, Jean-Fies might get picked here at mid camps.
Looks like he's had to force himself into the lurking in the waters. Will get away as Zesenbat pushes down the tower. So both 2-1 towers now have fallen. We did see that Jtar actually looked and got that left side as Fire Giant's being looked at. No one has any vision from Urok. Cancel that. Immortal is already on the way, saving grace for the rest of the team. They get Fire Giant for free here. No one on New Rock cancel that even thought that could happen.
Mighty God rolling in, looking for the knock-up just off the mark. That was a snuck Fire Giant. It looks like Backstab just want to force down this tier 1 tower in mid.
You can't do that. If you don't see anyone on the map whatsoever and you don't have vision on either of the 2 objectives, or you know that, for example, one of them is down, you have to be going over there. Even if they aren't there and they were just off doing back camps or whatever, you have to find that. There is no wards whatsoever even thought of for that Fire Giant pit. They went in once and got de-warded and then didn't go back to make sure they weren't on fire.
I was not criticizing, I was applauding both teams for warding very, very well in the early game, but seems to have fallen off a bit in the late game as this tier 2 is very aggressive.
Mercury, Sonic booms in, can't find anyone, Geb thrown back into the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Not Crazy is doing what he can to try and keep the backline safe. Isn't able to find anything, ends up eating more damage than he wants. Geb pushed very low as the Golden Apple of Discord pushes 2. Now it's onto Gene-Fee lurking in the waters, just try and keep him off as Not Crazy's still here, and now he's going to put that healing to good use.
Double Agni Bombs, forces Discordia Beads and Aegis. Jingwei Aegis, triple actives for double bombs.
Blink in.
VE Daddy's in deep.
Blinks in, but forces the ghosts. Everyone backs off. Now it's just looking at Badat, who's acting like a bat out of hell. No Camazots in this game, unfortunately, so I don't quite get away with that pun, but I'll take what I can. Tier 2 tower, though, does stand, and I think U-Rock Cancel That will take that as a victory for them.
Backstab will also take what they can, and I think they should take their 2.2k gold in hand and back up to base as GTA and Zhonghui, man, are top of the damage charts in this game. Well played from both of them so far.
Yeah, good work to see it. I mean, Zhonghui, you kind of expect a little bit of that. It's going to be the slap fighting, and when he is able to pop these ultimates and get 3, 4, 5 people involved with it, but also as well, just those protections. And it was good work from Backstab. They held on to trying to keep pushing that tier 2 tower. It was awkward. They found Not Crazy was in the back line, actually around the corner from the tier 2 tower, on the other side of the wall. He ended up distracting a lot of the damage dealers, but they just pumped damage into him instead. Meanwhile, on the front side, Geb just says, hey, I'm gonna survive, I can get out of this situation, holds his Cataclysm without any worries, and so still is able to get out safely there. Jeta.
Left-hand side, Jeta in an awkward position, 4v1, gonna have to give up this Gold Fury, unless he steals it.
Nope, not quite. I like the attempt, though. I like the attempt. I like the attempt, but I also like the recognition from U-Rock to go for that Gold Fury. Hey, everyone's backing up. They've got Fire Giant. We'll give up tier 2 tower. Let's just get us something to get us back in the game. But now 3k in
right lane, Backstab yoinks this tower all by themselves. 3v3 on a Phoenix. I don't think they can get the Phoenix, to be honest.
Not without any of their main damage dealers for this, and that's going to be in Jeta, who's currently just pushing down the left-hand side, getting rid of this last tier 2 tower. I do need to see Zhonghui back. He's got any item in the item
Sonic Boom on the left-hand side. JTA getting picked off, but no, says the Circuit. Great knock-up, forces out VE-Daddy, trying to make a hot 2-on-1 play. But better, the Mercury Toss is directly countered by Jingwei's ability to just jump away from it. So tough to make that play.
Also as well, just also kind of countered by the fact that you have 2 people there. Special delivery is great when it's a one-on-one situation. You can throw them into the wall and start punching them while they're still knocked up. If you have 2 people there, you are still targetable while in special delivery, and you have a Circuit looking at you. She can zigzag straight into you. You can Cobra's Kiss her out of it. There's a lot of damage potential that just wasn't quite respected, I feel, from VE-Daddy in that situation. But he will start swinging, and I think that's the thing he's going to have to realize is if I'm special deliverying, I have to make sure that I'm not getting blown up while I do so.
JTA is starting to... I was mentioning that the Mercury was hitting critical mass. So is Jingwei. She's got Deathbringer online. And tier 2
Wind Demon.
This Jingwei's been swinging, but Jingwei going to start swinging even harder.
Yeah, those explosive bolts will pack a little bit more of a punch, especially with the Deathbringer. I'm expecting VE-Daddy to be also working on his Deathbringer to try and combat that. The only difficulty is that damage reduction from Poison Star is really going to play a big impact. As we see 5 Giants respawned, and now Backstab are looking to vie for the position on this. They got it.
Not everyone's there, though.
Do you see a split push, though, from VE-Daddy?
Yeah, he's sitting in left lane right now. This Fire Giant, I'm not sure how they're going to contest
it. It's going down.
It's already gone.
I'm not going to lie, I looked away for a second at the Fire Giant's health bar. I thought they were still baiting it as Jeta just destroys 3 crits in a row with explosive bolts. Now Not Crazy, forced to cavalry charge himself away. And VE-Daddy may have got the tier 2 tower, but that's all he's going to get. Meanwhile, Backstab looking for this right side Phoenix.
They're pushing go straight in. Creeps, though, Supersonic, and there are 2 very tanky targets stand in front of Jingwei autos right now. This is dangerous for Backstab.
They still get it down to half health. Eating Agni stun. Cataclysm forces 2. Geb gets very low. Suicode actually managed to pick that one up. Meanwhile, VE-Daddy picks up Lord Steiner in the backside. Jong popped the Ghost to try and peel, but just couldn't quite find it. Meanwhile, Circuit was on trying to find where the Mercury had gone, but he'd already back to base. Very low is Jingwei, trying to find what they can, but is forced out. Espat does pick up one blink from the circuit into the backside, does have the Cobra's Kiss, and uses Last Breath available to them, but it's not. So they'll end up just picking up the kill. Cold, Sweet Cold falls as a 2 for 2.
Mercury blinking in on Esbat, and he's gonna clean him up with that stone-cutting prot shred, but
Good
JTA on the side, smashing Not Crazy with the crit.
No! Immortal! That was rude. That was very rude. No, I'm not saying that. The Spectator was fine, but he kicked him away from Jata. Don't do that. Don't do that. Throw them into the rest of your damage. Too. I know he wants the kill, but don't do that. That was
He's a level 20 circuit. He does 690 true damage on that Last Breath ultimate. That Mercury was dead. There was no.
Yeah, but what happens if Mercury turns around and punches Immortal, and then gets crit and just dies immediately?
What happens if you throw him to JTA and JTA gets one shot?
I mean, JTA has just enough crit. They had more than enough to be able to follow that. I feel that throwing into JTA was the right call there. He has crit that would follow that. Let the man get his kill.
Let the man get his kill. But really, Backstab makes a huge mistake. Pushes the Phoenix out minion. And they get punished for it real hard, but U-Rock cancel that, decides to overextend horribly into the team of Backstab, and they get punished for that. So a little bit of back and forth there. It should have been a better utilized Fire Giant, but Backstab kind of throws that one away.
Indeed it is. I feel like that was mostly just because they didn't have the circuit in any of that engagements. Mercury sat around the Gold Fury looking for it. Does Sonic Boom through it? Actually manages to steal it away from 3 members. Will cost him his life for it and the Jean-Qui ultimate, but I think he's happy with that one.
I don't know. If I'm Backstab, I'm pretty happy that their backline assassin that's doing most of their damage is off the pitch.
True, that is true, but they did force his ult already, and they know that the rest of the team is now grouping up, and there's no real attempt at Phoenix's. Left side, minions are still pushed up fairly high. Mid lane is being protected by U-Rock, cancel that, and right side, well, we saw what happened the last time they tried to push that without any minions.
Backstab seems to have forgotten what backdoor protections are, because they are ignoring the fact that they do not have any minions. Zonqui's gonna get plucked under Phoenix here. This is dangerous.
Not crazy, going into the backside, manages to stun out 2. Discordia getting pelted by the autos. B-Dagus won't save them. Yang Rico picks that up. Cataclysm only ends up hitting onto the 1. Last Breath has been used as well, and it will actually spread to 2 members as well. Jatar picks up 1 in response. It's still technically a 1-for-1. Now it's up to Not Crazy to just try and heal everything up. Mercury is back. Doesn't have ult available, but Backstab are forced off this engagement.
You can't siege this, and I know you've got a tanky composition that does well into a siege reasonably, because you've got a Geb, but your mage is dead, and if your mage is dead, you can't clear waves very effectively, and you can't poke people. You can't keep that Mercury in combat, so he just blinks in your backline. And you still don't have creeps.
Yeah, I mean, if Mighty God had picked himself up an Emperor's armor, then you have more of an answer saying, oh, the Phoenix isn't going to hurt us as much. But it's not. It's a Midgardian mare, which, again, I still think that's a fairly good call to pick up for that. But if you're going to be sieging like this, if you're going to try and backdoor this stuff, have the Emperor's armor. Have the Talisman of Energy, just to try and give you that attack speed for it. I got the one eventually. I was like, Energy Talisman, but
no, the Energy Talisman would be a good pickup here as well, because Agni's doing a lot of work, and I think honestly, an Emperor's armor plus a Talisman of Energy might be quite impressive.
I mean, that's my low-key OP combo right there. Is Talisman of Energy and Emperor's armor. It's great for sieging, but Fire Giant has respawned, Backstab. They're just going to go straight back in. No one in any position from U-Rock to try and defend on this. It feels like they're just going to give this one up because they know that they can hold without having to go in and take the fight at Fire Giant.
Certainly, if Backstab decides to siege the same way they have the last 2, they won't need
push with creeps.
Contest this Fire Giant.
Push with creeps.
So Backstab has decided to push 1 lane of creeps, but they need to take this up a notch and push 2 lanes of creeps, or maybe even 3 lanes of creeps, because yeah, pushing 1 wave is good, but it means you just can't pressure any Phoenix but 1, and makes the defense very, very easy, because now your assassin doesn't have to stay in a lane to keep creeps pushed out, and you can have all 5 people at 1 Phoenix.
Geb tanking it up for a little bit. Pluck onto the Discordia is good work. She starts getting pelted by autos. Knocked up and knocked back. Gianrico picks that one up. Circuit into the backside, got forced very low. Not crazy doing work onto the Jingwei. Shuts them down before they get off into the airstrike. VR, cancel that, says cancel that to the siege attempt. Zhonghui popping the ghost, looking for the Agni. Can't find it in time. Elmi Daddy holds it back. 3 for 1 on this defense. Fantastic play from you, Rock. Cancel that.
Yes. However, I would like to say U-Rock cancel that to Elmi Daddy, who missed Mercury ult on his own Phoenix and was interrupted by a wall.
All right, that's
now imagine that whole team fight, except there's a sonic boom going through it. You know that now
Gene probably doesn't
it's even scarier.
I mean, she probably doesn't die in that situation, but still 1 for 3 against the Fire Giant team. Backstab really haven't been able to work out how they want to try and break into a base here, and U-Rock cancel that. Fine with it. Blink for the Circuit just to get into a new position. Can't find the Cobra's Kiss onto VEL. We'll look to strip away the speed buff here, but this could be dangerous for him if he's not careful. He's careful. Well, he's not necessarily careful. Immortal just didn't have Cobra's Kiss up. Let's be real there.
Careful enough, right? It's better to be lucky than good sometimes.
True. Roll out from Geb, forced, knocking up the Mercury. Cataclysm's been used. They want to all in Elmi Daddy. Isn't going to get away. Passes on, not crazy with that last breath, but he's fairly tanky with a lot of HP, so he should be okay. Even opting to pick himself up a Stone of the Gaia here. And usually I'm not a big fan of this, but the fat chunky protections, not to mention the regen potential with the knockups that there are, I don't hate it.
The fat chunky protections?
Health. It's health. It's health. He's already got fat chunky protections.
Did you say protections?
I said protections, but he's already got fat chunky protections from his 2.
I was stuck on the fat chunky, to be honest.
I mean, they are. He's a thick boy right now. I mean, to be fair, both solo laners have built incredibly tanky here, but I love the call for just picking up. He's got the Heart Ward Amulet now, which is going to help him with MP5, just give him that mana protection there, which I like instead of the Pestilence. The healing really wasn't a big factor. Sure, Zhonghui has healing, but outside of that, you're not really too worried. So just picking up that Heart Ward I like. He's got the Genji's Garb as well, so really nice amounts of health and magical protection. Follow it up with the 2 highest physical defense items possible, and all you need now is some HP to boot with it.
Well, Backstab has learned. In round 3, they've pushed 2 creep waves on the Phoenix Siege. So this is better. You know,
still tanking it up themselves, though. Sean gets stunned out, eats the Soul Reaver proc from Agni as well, so that's going to be down for the next engagement. 1 Agni bomb remaining, 2 still down, but this is pretty much this team fight. If this goes poorly for Backstab, they could just lose off this engagement because you just march up any one of the lanes. You have a Mercury and a Xbalanque. They will destroy a Phoenix, and that I think is what Backstab are very tentatively realizing. They have got Circuit split pushing, but Mercury will be able to defend and rotate just as quickly as this Circuit if need be.
Zhong heavily frontlining now. Geb's shield is down. This might be an engagement. Keep your eyes on Elmi Daddy. Sitting in mid lane right now. He's been charging the Sonic Boom across his own Phoenix, and I think he's going to make a big impact in this fight.
Gene's pluck is what has been setting up all these engagements. Every time someone gets plucked back under Phoenix, they just can't quite fight well enough. Emperor's Armor also as well for Gene means that they have a much stronger defense here. And their siege is pretty damn good, if I'm going to be honest here. When you have Agni who can free cast into the backside, not having to worry about it, these minions are just melting as soon as they're even going near the Phoenix.
Yeah, and Zhonghui is so poked right now, and Backstab doesn't have Fire Giant sustain. Fire Giant, in fact, isn't even on them because it hasn't spawned yet. It's spawning very, very soon, and I'd almost like them to see, you know, don't go for the siege. Take a red buff, go to fire.
Pull the red, yeah. Because unfortunately, VER, as much as they're playing defensively, if you're just playing reactive, if you're just playing on the defensive, you will not win just by doing that. So I like what Backstab are doing. Pull them off their Phoenixes where they've been strong. Pull them into the jungle where their fight they can feel a little bit more broken up. Try and find something, and I'm going to say it again, force the issue elsewhere. So back.
Beginning of this game, we were talking about Divine Ruins got to be somewhere on Backstab.
Doesn't
Not in Area 1 to be seen. And
Do
a
have
very
brawlers.
much, you know, Guan Yu has healed for 10,000.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's
It's a big number.
it is a big number. It's 5 digits. That's 5 digits. That's 5 players' health bars almost fully as Fire Giant is getting low. Guan Yu is here to try and steal it. Does go in with the cavalry charge. Forces everyone off it. Sobek's lurking in the waters. They've still got this leash. Could they actually steal it? They know. They actually pull off it. Slowing Boom hits 3 people, causing Lurk in the waters to set off Immortal Swith, already taken out of this fight, and it's completely broken open. Guan Yu pushed very low, and so is Discordia. U-Rock cancel that. Oof, Mercury. Not sure quite what happened there, but he got blown up. This looks like a full disengage from both sides as a 1-for-0 pick in U-Rock's favor. They should be Fire Giant here. They should be betting the rest of this fight for a Fire Giant.
These fights are on a knife's edge. There's so much critical strike on the play. There's 2 Soul Reavers. There's just tons of burst. And, you know, this is why this Geb pick to me is very, very strong right here. Jingwei almost get blown up by double Agni.
Ooh, that was disgusting. And a Rodazahuti as well to follow this Agni. That Agni passive will chunk incredibly difficult. So we see him actually Path of Flames aggressively. The rest of the team trying to find something. Jingwei, oh sorry, Discordia completely erased in 2 shots by VEL. Maybe being chased down. Rollout CC immunity will save him for now. But the Mercury Blink is good to close the distance. Knock up ain't gonna save you. Not Crazy picks that one up. 3 members only alive now. Make that as all 5 staying alive. And now they can siege. And look how they're sieging. Not
without
quite
minions.
great. Yeah, without minions. But they had the Emperor's armor. Cobra's Kiss. Good blink. Agni puts a half health already. Does get beads. Jibbalonquay kicked back. Blown up in 2 shots. He should be dead here if they can find one more auto. But they can't. Zigzag off the mark. He's going to stay alive. Never mind. Immortal manages to slip through 1 shot into the backside of his head. But 4 members now dead for Backstab. 4 members alive for U-Rock. And they're going to go Pyromancer. Why are we doing Pyromancer? The bigger one. Go for the bigger one. why are we not going for the bigger one right now? You have 4 members alive, of which you have the lifesteal on Mercury as well. You have Guan Yu alive. Come on, that's fire.
Okay. I think I can break this down here. You got 4 members alive, and your Guan Yu doesn't have any health, except for that Stone of Gaia. So he just gets, yeah.
And now he has no health at all.
Uh-oh. Jingwei VELing VEL me daddy, he says.
He's gonna blow him up.
But gets blown up. This is what I mean by this is balanced on knife's edge. I mean, look at those crits. Jingwei hits 1. I mean, if Merc hits the crit instead, it's Mercury running at Jing.
What?
But Merc doesn't, and Jing does.
That was 600 damage plus Soul Reaver proc, and Jingwei's just gone.
She's full HP. You know, Merc didn't hit the crit.
He didn't hit the crit. He didn't hit the ult either. That one is a situation where he should have hit the crit, but just wasn't quite on the angle. I think he was expecting Jeta to actually back up, but instead the laugh spam saves him. Genuinely, the laugh spam saved him there.
You're not even trolling. That's 100% correct. Still, because of the laughs, which you shouldn't do, kids.
Don't do that. That's just me.
Because of the laugh spam, JTA gets away with one there because he should have been dead. Now, not Crazy takes a boxing match against an ADC in the late game, and
yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that one at home either, kids.
No, I would like to see at some point VL. I want to see him pick up a Titan's Bane, even if he sells the boots for it. He's got 20% movement speed plus 10%. But I want to see. I need to see him pick up a Titan's Bane here because he's just not hitting people hard enough.
I want to see him sell Hasten for Titans.
I can see that
because he's not sticking to people anymore. You know, he's getting one shot by
Lurking in the waters, pulls people off. Fire Giant is reset. Lurking in the waters is going to hit stuff. Sonic Boom into the backside, gets hit by the knockup as well. Pushed incredibly low already by the Discordia. Now the rest of the fight, though, isn't working out pretty well. Blink forward pushes the Jibbalonque back, Cataclysm as well, but it takes out a lot of the damage. Sobek eats through the Golden Apple of Discord, pushed very low as Mantle of Discord picks him up, but Jtar puts one more bolt into the back of his head. Now Circuit's leading the charge, trying to find more damage onto Not Crazy, but they push him too far back. Turn around and go for the Fire Giant at this point! They're going to keep pushing down mid lane. Recall Demons used as well.
They need to make a very quick decision. They either need to
burn this Phoenix now,
or do fire.
Go fire.
You know,
it's not they're going to go
push it with a wave. They're trying to end off the Phoenix kill, but Lord Steino, they're cleaning up Yanrico. This might be game.
This could very well be game. Good Agni Bomb stuns out one. Sweet Cold picks up one. Double kill for the mid lane mage Agni. Now they can't end. They do get the Phoenix, but they can't end off this now. Using Not Crazy, chasing down Guan Yu. Still very tanky, using the ultimate effectively, but there are 3 members coming around to find him, and he shouldn't be long for this world. And that's what I'm talking about there. VER-VVX Daddy did 188 crit with Deathbringer into Zhonghui.
You know, one of these fights, VER-VVX Daddy will actually hit his ult. And
That'd
it will be effective, and then it will be really bad. Backstab makes one mistake after they win that fight. They go mid, because they didn't have creeps pushing in mid. They had creeps pushing in our right-hand lane there.
Yeah.
So if they would have just
pushed
gone
those
to the lane with creeps and killed the Phoenix without backdoor protections, they wouldn't have been triple killed by Agni damage. You know?
Indeed. It's just an awkward situation. It felt like there was no target focus at all. It was, all right, we're going to...
Target focus was Phoenix. But the Phoenix was too tanky.
Target focus. If there's going to be Phoenix, then Immortal Swift starts chasing around the Agni, starts eating his damage, starts tanking up these towers. They're going to keep pushing now for another Phoenix. They may get it, but it's going to cost them a lot. Darkest of Nights has been used. Jingwei flies in, gets stunned out, thrown back, but will juke out of the position. Sobek now pushed very low. They will get that second Phoenix, though, and this is a reasonable trade for you, Rock, if Sobek's the only one who dies for it. Like, you're screaming worth the support there. Yeah, you're screaming worth the whole time.
They get the Phoenix that the other team just got, so they've got Fire Waves pushed. Oh my gosh.
He's getting out. No, Immortal's got to get it.
Oh no! Oh, Gabs, you knocked him up. Okay.
Ooh. All right, it's fine. It's fine. Fire Giant, no, being looked at by Backstab. I'm not sure they get the free room to do this.
Daddy can just blow up Jingwei and
he hit one!
Comes out. He hit an ultimate, and look at that. He did damage.
Did more than damage. He also set up the damage followed through by the Fire Giant. Mercury now trying to back. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to get very far. Lord Steno picks that one up, but still, 2 waves are fire minions, but they're going to go back to this Fire Giant now without their ADC.
Mercury's dead. You know, who's gonna walk in? Is the Guan Yu gonna steal it? No.
Agni Bomb. Over the wall, Agni Bomb.
If Agni walks in, you kill him. If Jablanque walks in, you kill him. You know, this is a good Fire Giant from Backstab, because if anybody shows up, and I mean, look at their ward vision. They've got a ward on bottom rights. They've got a ward in that corridor next to blue buff. Nobody can walk from that jungle towards Fire Giant without Backstab knowing about it.
Well, 45.5 minutes in now. Gold Fury being done mostly just to try and get those 3k pots in hand. You do see a couple of them on the map. Yanrico, Sweet Cold, and Jata all have themselves a 3k potion. And you mentioned before how these crits are going to hurt. Now they're just going to do even more damage, because your Agni Bombs are going to do stupid amounts of damage. This is CC'd. If a player gets CC'd, they die. That's just what's going to happen here.
I'm not sure when it happened, but I see 2 very beautiful things in the builds for Backstab. Number 1, Zhonghui has gotten an Emperor's Armor, which feels pretty good. And number 2, Discordia has sold her Spear of Desolation for Divine Ruin, which is gorgeous, because she's got the penetration. At this point, you need the % pen anyway. The flat pen isn't as useful, so give me a Divine Ruin any day of the week.
This is not going to be able to work well with like a Spirit of the Magus. The Unruly Magic, the only thing that can really do it, and even then, it's not too great.
I wouldn't hate seeing Zhonghui sell this Stone of Binding for Spirit of the Magus.
Yeah, he could look for it if he wants to drop a little bit tanky. He does have a lot of health, but mid lane, Phoenix respawns, Phoenix goes down. Quickly done there, quick and clean in that instance. Backstab going to look to try and do the same thing to the right side, but they have to push up here, and they do know that that's two waves of fire minions there. So
yeah, they need to back. They need to push out the fire waves, and I'd like to see them push down our right hand side here to try to get the other side's right.
This? If they're still trying to siege this, and they see and VER see Zhonghui all the way back up at their Phoenix line.
Creeps.
Yeah, they should be defending here. They should be like, guys, there's no worries here. We can defend this. They actually is just not crazy, standing very far up on his own. This could be punished, but I don't think Backstab think that it's just him. So they're all just going to back up and play it safe.
Hey, honestly, the 4 players there up by the minion wave were kind of like midfielders, you know, to take things back for the Europeans.
Bring it to footy. Bring it to footy.
Right? They were the midfielders. They were standing at the midfield saying, you know what, you can't get past me. I'm just gonna play some preemptive defense while my Zhonghui pushes waves. They weren't trying to siege the Phoenix. They were just trying to push fire, which is fine.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can respect it. I do feel though that this should now be in VER, even though Fire Giant is on Backstabs. They're the ones who have a lot of control over the situation as to where and when these fights occur. They can afford to sit back and defend on their Phoenixes because they know that they can do it there very well, as they have done twice before, but also as well because those 2 Phoenixes are weakened on the mid and right side. They don't have to worry about, oh, well, what do we get if we do get a wipe at our Phoenix? You know, how are we going to abuse this? Well, they've got 2 lanes which they can already abuse and just go straight for Titan at this point. They have enough damage to burn the Titan game. If it goes cleanly, yes.
Yeah,
if everyone dies, nobody wins.
Well, and here's why I'm going to say, if one carry survives, I think the game is over.
I can see that, yeah.
Because there's creeps pushing the left wave for UROC cancel that. So if they win a team fight, they can run up that wave, kill the Phoenix, and kill the Titan.
Whew.
And obviously there's a Phoenix dead on the side in favor of Backstab here. So
just quick look at player damage I want to see whilst we're going for this siege. Huge disparity for it. As we see 46,000 to 40,000 as the top. But you look at ADCs, less than half that damage, almost a third of that damage. Well, not quite a third, but that's a bit of an exaggeration. But Xibalanque sat under 20k. That's for late game Hunter.
The other person to look at right now is Lord Steino in this Discordia, because actually Cirquet Blink's coming out. Mercury's carded, he's sitting in the back line.
Looks like he's just trying to see if he needs the ult. Used by ult, but Guan Yu and Lurking in the Waters forces everyone away. Still sat in the backside, but Jean is very low, eating crits to the backside. Darkest of Nights comes out, stuns out one. Zhonghui gets low, but Sobek gets out. Yanrico picks up Immortal Swift over on the left-hand side. Roll out, looking to try and defend here. But there's still 4 on 5 now in UROC's favor.
Backstab cannot win this fight at this point. They're so low.
No.
Their Recall Demons comes out. Zhonghui gets stunned with the pluck. He is so low. The Geb Shield might keep him alive for a bit. I'm not convinced that he can get out of this.
He can't run faster than the fastest god. This should be game. This should be game. 5 members still remaining. Sure, fire minions were an issue that could be looked at, but now with only 3 left, 1 ult is good. Like, Golden Apple of Discord could change the fight, but Geb, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. That's a butt chunt. That's a butt clencher right there. That is something that you don't want to look at.
Backstab is certainly.
Oh no, he caught the dash.
Double actives.
Had to force it. Mercury getting destroyed by Discordia's carpet of strife, which is exactly what it is. Doesn't have ult available to get back. No one's pushing this Phoenix now. Everyone's stopped hitting the Phoenix. Minions do finally get it by the looks of it, but J-Tar already takes out Not Crazy. Picks up a second one. Jean Fee takes that, and now what I thought was just a simple march down the mid lane and tear it up ends up holding for Backstab, which I think honestly is the wrong call. I don't think they hold there or should be able to hold there, but they managed to.
I think you go for the attempt. I was just very afraid that once you popped double Jingwei actives, that Jingwei would just die. And now this is terrifying right now in this Phoenix. If I'm the Jingwei player, 1 Agni stun does that.
Force the disengage. Don't know if he had combustion available to him. If he did, that's a dead Jingwei, but she will lifesteal. She's smart. She won't actually clear that camp, but I don't think she had a choice. Sonic Boom comes through, hits 2, and Darkest of Nights will follow up as well. Phoenix stands. Geb Mantler Discord stun isn't good enough, but VE-VVX gets taken out by Lord Steino. Geb survives. This is a back and forth, and this feels like we're starting to see the... I don't want to say the novice nature of these guys, but we start to see how
it's hard to close
these teams are closing out these games. Yeah,
it's very hard to close a game in this season, and it doesn't help. Your Mercury is actually deleted. Is the Agni. Lord Steino has put out some clutch damage.
Oh, the dash got caught.
Lord Steino was the one that killed VL Daddy on that Phoenix because he doesn't have Aegis, instead electing for the blink.
Good shot. That's game. That's game.
Is it? We've said that 3 times.
It should be.
3 times.
It should be. Everyone's being forced off. Discordia falls in response to it, but no one's looking at Jingwei. Jingwei is pelting this Phoenix, gets taken out finally, but the damage has already been done. Game 1 going the way of Backstab Esports. 52-51. That was game 1 of a best of 5. Now, this could be very telling, this first game going this distance. This can be now... The next few games I could see are either going to go the exact same distance because these two teams are so evenly matched and they will learn from this and they will improve on this. Or I feel that these games get much shorter because the one team is going to fatigue a little bit more than the other. And I think that U-Rock may fatigue just a little bit more because it was a loss. But that's all my hearsay predictions for game 2. We're still in game 1 now. Before we get too much further, you guys in the chat, we will... have a little bit of a think here as to who we want for MVP. And scoreline-wise, everything would say Jata, but Lord Steino and Immortal Swift?
I'm looking at Lord Steino, honestly. Yeah. And there's 2 reasons for that. Number 1, because Lord Steino was the safe, consistent burst. JTA was putting out tons of damage, don't get me wrong. He played very, very well. But Lord Steino, number 1, had 22 wards, which is the biggest number on his team. Oh, sorry. Second biggest number on his team, which makes me very happy on the inside. And also, those Golden Apples of Discords were smacking some dudes. And the Strifes did a lot of work. And VL Daddy decided not to go for Aegis this game because he went for the blink early. And he likes to do that. We've seen him do it every game.
So just abuse that situation that he had. Not to mention as well, it's a cripple. He can't dash away if he goes in that situation. The Strife roots him in place or will madness him if someone else is diving against it. So a lot of potential play there for it. And if you're looking at U-Rock, where are you saying that this game, is it pick? Was it the play? I think for me, the draft was solid. Give the Daddy the Mercury. Tell him to buy a Titan's Bane at some point in his build, but other than that, give this back to him. Jan Rico had some issues, I feel, being able to get some player damage out, but I feel that was more a case of how those team fights broke out. He just wasn't able to get any damage off. But that being said, Darkest Night is a blind, so you don't see any damage from it, but it was just as impactful in these fights. So where are you looking to say, VO, what went wrong here?
It was hyper late game execution, and you know what? That's something that is very difficult to learn. There were instances I think both teams could have won that game much earlier, and you know what? I'm gonna take it back to the Phoenix Sieges. There were a couple of Phoenix Sieges. Well, I'm saying that something went wrong for you out cancel that. VL Daddy missed his Mercury ult on a right-hand Phoenix Siege by slamming into a wall. His team won that fight, but maybe that's a 5-man wipe if he actually gets into it.
Yeah, maybe the potentials, but nonetheless, we will worry about that. We'll get into game 2 shortly, ladies and gentlemen. In the meantime, don't forget to vote on that MVP. We'll be right back as we get into game 2 and telling you who game 1's MVP will be.
Howdy, folks. We're back with Game 2, but first, a quick message from production. They would like to let us know that GTA has indeed taken the MVP. It's not too surprising with a 57,000 player damage game on the Jingwei.
Indeed, so congratulations to him. But that was the last game we will see from him, as Abu Archangel has
Indeed
come back. There's only one sub in that he's going to be doing now. So now they're going to be running with their regular ADC here. So hopefully they can have just as much success as they did in the first game. As we see already, we got a spicy game going on, boys. We got a Geb solo here.
And meanwhile, Fenrir is actually already beating up the Geb. Went for the Brutalize first. Shockwave doesn't knock up that ability because Brutalize is knock-up immune.
Did force him to get the Brutalize
now,
first.
minions have just spawned. This is going to be a dangerous duo lane of Athena Artemis.
Indeed it is. As you can already see that Abu pushed out very low. Terra wasn't actually there. I believe they were trying to do the start where you stop your minions from spawning and then go start a red, but ended up electing against it. So instead, Abu pushed so low that forcing Terra to grab the heal level 1. This lane is now over.
Yep.
Like, that's just it. This lane should be over.
Yeah, no, it is over. I'm pretty sure that Backstab doesn't have a left side jungle anymore.
They shouldn't do anyway, as you can see already, and I love this. Jinfi and Yanrico immediately starting to go for it. Although, it does seem that Yanrico is on a little bit of a different page, looking to try and take the wave instead of the smalls to the buff, but pokes out Abu in the process. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do see Discordia Agni, but this time role reversed. Sweet Cold will be showing off his Agni. Meanwhile, Lord Steiner will be trying to show his Agni. See if he can't keep his cool. Or his sweet cool. Sweet Cold. Close enough. I was going for a pun there. It was a temperature-based thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get the joke.
Yeah, I get it.
It was a good
so
joke.
does everybody in chat.
It was a good joke.
Oh god. No.
Everyone lolling in chat right now, and it's totally at how funny the joke was. That's what
everyone's lolling at you because you just tried.
Because
to
it was so funny.
Joke.
See? Because I made such a good joke. That's what it is.
You see, when the European chat is lolling at the European caster and agreeing with the American one, you know you've lost. Just gonna throw that one out there.
Yeah, I'll give you one. Talking about people that haven't lost, Geb Solo still doing all right for now. Does eat a bird bomb, but so far isn't doing too bad, all things considered. Doesn't have any potions available to him though, which is the big key difference between the two of them, whereas Not Crazy
Aggression in the left-hand lane, though. Robin is gone for the gank, went in with the blink, lots of damage, poking out Yanrico. But here's Fenrir.
He's here, but everyone has already pushed back too far. Abu and Mighty has sat way too far back for him to try and do anything. Jin Yan, you won the lane too well. Now Fenrir doesn't have a level 2 gank or level 3 gank over in the duo lane.
And Athena, of course, has gone for the shield wall at level 2, so no taunt available to close distance there. This is a dangerous lane when they hit level 5, but until then it's certainly not as...
They have hit level 3 now, though Terra does have access to her clear, dashes aggressively for the second one, but eats the trap, sits back, ends up getting taunted in, takes a little bit of poke, but there is still a wave here, so Yan will opt to clear that out first. Meanwhile, right-hand side, Blue buff invade is going away. Can't quite secure it. Now the Ravana's made the rotation, but Fenrir's here as well, blinking in onto the Geb. Geb Cutie is good to keep him alive, but his health is being clawed at. Unchained puts through the last damage, and a basic will finish it. Don't come away with the blue buff, but they get the second best thing in the solo lane is life. And first blood.
Yeah, that is first blood indeed, but to be fair, the Geb into Odin is actually a very good matchup for the Geb as far as lane clear goes. If you time the knockup right, you can actually cancel out bird bomb damage.
Well, the detonation side of it, yeah.
Right, the detonation side of it, right, because you can knock the Odin up the frame he hits the ground, and it doesn't do the damage for the Raven Shield.
I mean, it's very difficult to do that, and there's ping issues and all those things to sort out.
Yeah,
but there is a possibility. We actually see, because Geb soloed his buff to get the experience for it, he's actually hit level 5 first in this lane. Doesn't mean too much, as Odin's right there, but it's the small little things. He's a little bit of experience up. In dual lane, we saw an invade over on the right-hand side, trying to go for it left side. Can't quite find it. Two-man route. No follow-up yet, but Ravan's blinked in. He's looking to try and follow this one up with a little bit more ferocity than the first time he was here.
Still not much going there. There's the Terra stun, but it's too late. Raven's already gone.
Oh, Discordia's already dashed to try and get away. Golden Apple of Discord hits nobody. Lord Steino over the walls just rains down hell. Sweet cold.
Left lane. Fenrir has Ragnaroked that Terra. The wall stun enough to keep him alive for a bit, but Athena passive takes the kill.
Athena passive, I thought it was just... Oh, no, she's not at 5 yet. I thought she would bonked it with the ult. But no, you are correct. It was Reach who got it, but wrap around from Immortal, looking to try and follow it up. Goes in, gets taunted off immediately. Sprints pop by Jean just to keep him safe, but... Pure calm from Yanrico there. No beads, no ult there. I'm just going to walk away. I know you guys have taunted for me. So, fantastic work there.
Man, I don't know. He's got nerves of steel. If I saw a Raven ulting at me out of the jungle, Tusky's hitting the ground, baby.
I mean, they could have turned that, to be fair, if they went for it, but playing it safe. Playing it safe, I'm fine. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with playing it safe there.
And look at it this way. Even if you do turn it, what are you getting? Right? You've killed a Fenrir, or you've killed a Raven. Congratulations. But you can't invade purple. You've got enough pressure to get your own red. You're not getting anything from it.
I like the calm play. It makes them look like more of a stern player, stoic, just walking away. Not even gonna look at them. Not gonna pay them the respect for it. So you see again another blue buff invade. This time does go the way of Not Crazy. Drops the ring. Keep Ravan busy for a while, but Geb can't follow up. Doesn't have any mana available to him. With no mana buff either, it won't be getting much of that anytime soon either.
And this is a dangerous early game for Backstab right now. They've gone for pretty much zero pressure everywhere except the mid jungle. Their duo lane is Terra Shablanque, and they've got a solo laner Geb. And I'm shocked that Urok Cancel That hasn't taken this Fenrir with the Athena and just gone for tons of pressure in the left side jungle. They've gotten purple buffs, but I don't think they've invaded any reds.
Well, Jean has used the ultimate, just looks like to get back in towards the lane and things. Disco pushed very low, won't be enjoying that beat. But Agni is sitting at about 50% health as well, so both sides not doing the greatest. But the junglers are here, and they'll be the ones who seem to be dictating this. And that's kind of what you want your junglers to do, and it's really been more on VEL Me Daddy to dictate this as the Fenrir rather than the Ravan.
Both characters, though, can make a lot of difference early.
Oh, yeah.
You have to think about Fenrir, though. He's got much more crowd control.
Yeah, I think that's the big one for it. You look at it, you've got what? You just got a root and a slow. Meanwhile, Fenrir has the ability to chase you down. He has the pickup, which is fantastic as well. Like,
Fetch.
Yeah, fetch, as you so adequately like to call it. And also the stun on Unchained. And as well, if he does get a kill, that passive resets so he can stun again immediately after.
Right.
Do a lane, see a little bit of aggression, dash in. No taunt from Fee. Holding beads as well, Dribble. Now we see the taunt come out, followed up with a little bit more damage. Shablanque put it under half health. Tusky comes out, as does Defender of Olympus. I thought they hoped that Tusky would spread a bit further there. That's not a nice look.
As Terra, the Earthen Fury is going to come out doing tons of damage to Arvis. Gets stunned by Shablanque. Oh, we don't like to see that one, Yanrico.
Will fall. Mid lane, Golden Apple Discord again off the mark from Sweet Cold. So unfortunate there. We'll go back to the wave. I don't mind them splitting up the farm here, considering there is still a wave, but I don't mind the call to just get the red buff solo experience for the Fenrirs. Almighty God picks up Jean Fee on the left-hand side. You said that this lane wasn't. We said that this lane was over. Seems like Backstab have other things to say about that.
Terra Wall spanks when it's leveled first, as it should be. Prominent professional support player Emilzy has an excellent video out there about why you should level Terra Wall first. And in fact, if you are leveling your heal pillar first, you're doing it wrong, because Terra Wall hits real hard in the early game.
Yeah, not only that as well, but you're not exactly gaining anything outside of the heal. You're not able to really use that sustain for anything, and sitting in there isn't going to do anything, and the stun or the root duration is the same always. So leveling that is, well, as we see junglers meet each other on the way to duo lane. By the way as well, blue buff was stolen again. Not crazy getting his second one this time. Now that it looks like SM Bat's trying to find it, as you see Mystic Rush onto the Fenrir, puts in some good damage. Lord Steino picks that one up over the other side of the wall. Stunned out is the Athena. Ravon still looking to put in his damage, trust in his team. Mighty God cleans Gene Fee up thanks to the ultimate. And now Artemis is left all on their own with no one else to save them.
Daddy is really feeling this blink right now, because it's not doing much for him. I think Fenrir is one of those characters that you really have to consider not going blink and just going. I know he's pressure, but he's got brutalized, he's got unchained, and he's got Ragnarok, which gives him a speed boost. Yeah. I don't think you need blink on this character. I really think you need the beads in this comp.
Well, Defender of Olympus comes down off the mark though with the Apple of Discord again.
Yeah, I like it.
Athena was stunned out there. If it wasn't stunned out, the follow-up taunt would have been there. Like everything there was perfect. And Lord Steino just says, nah, fam.
Lord Steino made a beautiful play, stunning out an Athena mid-dash. You know, you can't predict that, you know?
Yeah.
For Sweet Cold, you're going to start winding up the ult because you're going to get the Athena taunt into the guaranteed apple every time.
Yeah, like that was the right play that Sweet Cold made. He made that play trusting that his team was going to get a taunt in there, but no eyes on Lord Steino, and he shows that his Agni is still pretty hot as well. I've got to get the fire puns in there somewhere.
Yeah. You're
stun.
Oh, I had a good one and then I lost it.
Oh, that's the same. I'll let you simmer on that one while we talk about what's going on over in the mid lane. Bit of aggression. Yeah. That's what you do there. That's what you do there.
3v3 in the mid lane, however. Fighting over these left mids. Ooh, Athena Dash just getting through those Terra walls. VL Daddy will claim the left-hand mid camps. Looking at... ooh, there's the blink spinner, though. Oh, never mind. It wasn't blink.
No blink. No blink. It was put in combat before then. Didn't end up picking anyone up. Could have gone back for the Terra, but I do believe she still had a passive, so I think she's actually not... I think the grab counts as the knock-up for it. The left-hand side, or right-hand side, sorry. Yeah, trying to go for an invade, not quite able to do it. Finding himself.
I believe you can pick up Terra through her passive with Fenrir.
I'll ask production if they happen to know.
I believe you can.
Someone do testing.
Like 90% sure. Yeah,
we got two people saying yes, so I'll go with a yes. And if they're wrong, it's not my fault. It's everyone else's for giving me the wrong information.
Well, Terra and Athena both very intelligent builds this game, going straight into the Sovereignty, as Sovereignty won't help you against the Agni Bombs. Noxious Fumes. Not Noxious Fumes. What is it? What's his passive? Ignite.
Combustion.
There it is.
Combustion. Good passive.
I think it's Ignite.
It's Combustion. I'm pretty sure it's Combustion, because you're thinking of what he says when he throws Flame Wave. It's Ignite, because it's fuel for the fire, Ignite.
Yeah, okay. Regardless. The dot damage from Agni passive
is good passive.
It procs the Terra ult, and that claims the life.
Oh god, that's it. Oh my god, oh my god, the lines. I see them all now, and it does the increased damage as well from Terra ult immediately. Like that's disgusting. I thought that Terra Bastet was disgusting when you pop those sorts together, but Agni's just as good, and that's not even an ultimate. That's a passive.
Right.
That's dirty.
It turns out Terra ult is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the size of the tooltip box for it? Can we actually just hit F1, everyone F1, we look at Terra, and we want you to see the size of this tooltip box. Look how big that is!
It's a heal over time, it's a burst heal, it's burst damage, it does damage mitigation, it does damage increase, it's just...
Like, the only way that I know how to counter it is to upgrade early a cursed onk, so that when they pop Terra ult, you pop that at the same time, so that you basically mitigate their mitigations by having them take more damage. But it's still disgusting, as we see now. Actually, a blue buff invade going the way of Backstab. Still 2 levels down, but this could be a bait if he goes in for it. Leaps in place, does not crazy. Gets Defender of Olympus onto him, but this is still a 3v1 for the time being. 3v2 now. But what are you going to do here, you guys? Well, Cataclysm's going to come out.
They might get a double kill over here on this lane, but I'll tell you what UROT Cancel That's doing. They're doing Gold Fury because they don't care if their tanks die in the right lane.
Backstab know about this, but they have no one there to be able to follow it up. Instead, they're going to smart and quickly go to this Pyromancer, make sure that they get that. Acne Bombs over the wall, all three already. It's not quite good enough for them. Members getting low now. They have to be very careful how they do this. Athena is here, and Gene3 picks up Immortal Swift incredibly quickly. Pyromancer does actually go the way of Backstab. Not able to steal their way was the Odin. Now very low. Very low. Backstab will be able to disengage. Gets the Apple of Discord as well. Geb eats it, though.
Geb eats it, but this is a solo lane Geb. He's level 13. He's got tier 1.
He's sturdy. He's pretty sturdy right now.
Yeah, he is very sturdy. That man, you could say, is solid as a rock.
Indeed he is. And that's his passive. Haha! I see what you did there.
You got it. Hey, I might have 4,700 worshippers on Geb. At least I should know the name of the passive, right?
I wouldn't like that. Can you show me what it does?
Yeah, it reduces all crit damage to 25%.
And that's fantastic, because what's Artemis building into right now?
Oh, well, wouldn't you know?
She's building into crit. Now, she will still be able to get Deathbringer passive, and effects from crit will still be very useful. So, because of this, the effect is useful, and this is going to mean that frontlining for this solo lane Geb is going to be phenomenally easy, but he's still got to actually eat the effects of the Poison Star, of the Wind Demon boosting for this. And also as well, Artemis, you kind of are going to go crit 9 times out of 10 anyway, because you want to abuse that passive. And you can hit 100% with Rage, Deathbringer, Poison Star.
It's tricky to not build crit on Artemis because your kit synergizes so well with it.
So much around it.
In this game, you might want to consider building chin size in there as well.
Yeah, I could see the chin size build with just the Poison Star. I could see it. I don't agree with it necessarily, but I could see it happening. We'll have to see as this game goes on. But right now, 6-3 and 16 minutes in. Backstab looking for a bit more of a fight. Find the Artemis, eats the Defender of Olympus. Terra now trying to find it. Tusky, though, ping-pongs back its way to the Ravan. Then Fury has been used, and Fenrir is eating a lot of damage. Enrico, though, picks that one up first as Abu Angel will pick up the El Midadi. Meanwhile, mid lane, Odin's aggressing onto the Agni, picks that one up under tower with Discordia. That was 2 separate fights, and both of them seem to go the way of Backstab in the end.
In the end, though, it's a 1-for-1 kill. As in fact, there's more, 1-for-2, excuse me, so it's more damage coming out from Backstab in favor of UROT Cancel That. But so many people are pushed so low that there's not much that they can pull from that. As well as Geb didn't rotate to that fight. So he's just getting tower pressure for free.
He is getting tower pressure, but I'm not really sure that that's going to mean too much. I mean, yes, Geb gets solo lane. Congratulations. I'm currently zoomed in straight onto him as I know there's a fight in mid lane going on. But here it is. He gets it. First tower of the game. Geb gets it. Officially, the game is over now. SM back 1 lane, which if we go by rank logic, win lane, lose game?
Sure.
That's how it is, right? You win lane, lose game.
Well, the thing is, the win lane, lose game concept comes from you never rotated, right? Because you won the lane and you pushed down towers, but your team is 4v5ing and losing the game. But in this instance, Backstab actually fought a 4v5 and went 1-for-2. It's not great, but they didn't really lose anything from it. Neither gold nor pyro's up. So there really was no reason for Geb to rotate that early.
And that's what I mentioned when I said that I felt that even though Backstab looked like they come off worse for that, Backstab, they take the 4v5, and sure, they don't necessarily win the fight, but what else they were doing? Geb was still getting himself farms. He's trying to catch up to Not Crazy, who's still 2-level lead on him. So he's doing what he can to just try and get himself that farm that he so desperately needs at this point. He's caught it up now. He is only 1 level down. Well, maybe about 11.5, but he's catching up. But I do want to see him rotate now. He is tanky. He has Cataclysm. He can be the initiation and save the Terra.
Geb, though, you don't need to be ahead. You don't even necessarily have to be even. You just have to be a warm body that can push 3.
That's very true. Mid lane, Disco forced very low. Blink from the Fenrir looking at Terra. Taunt isn't good enough. Geb Cataclysm off the line though. In the backside, will just get picked up by the Fenrir in the end. Sweet Cold does fall to Immortal, who used the Mystic Rush to get in. Two-man stun though onto Athena, and now the cage has come out. Terra using the ult as well, but I don't think they have anywhere to chase.
Artemis from around the side. There's Tusky is unleashed, but Tusky has decided to take a vacation to the minions for a while. So
A little
not
bit.
as much coming out of that. Prana Onslaught does some damage, chunking.
That was huge!
Bombs. Lord Steino putting in work that fight.
That was a three-man Agni stun. Immortal does manage to pick up Jan Rico. No follow-up there. Meditation used. The tier 1 tower goes down, but that was a three-man stun. Three-man stun. I was about to talk about how, oh, it was fine, Jan Rico. Sure, the ultimate doesn't do too much to follow up the fight in their favor, but it disrupted enough the Backstab can't follow up. And then
hey,
Lord Steino just hits a three-man taunt. That was another 4v5.
That was another 4v5. Because Jablonke was just split pushing the whole time. Backstab Esports is putting in work. They are winning 4v5s. Odin might be able to bird bomb steal this one.
That's everything.
Careful. Yeah, that's
No.
That's a knocking bomb. Yeah. He's
Not
skating.
quite. Does ring the people in, mostly to try and help him get away. Geb's here now as well. We'll be looking to try and find the rollout. Should cancel it here, which he does smartly to go for the knock-up instead. Golden Apple of Discord does hit onto the Agni, gets him Shell and Aegis. Or the Shield and Aegis to the Geb, as members now all eating a lot of that damage. But he's still okay with this, and the Agni has a fully stacked Warlock staff now, so he's looking pretty okay in this mid lane.
Lord Steino has been extremely impressive to me, because Lord Steino is just constantly putting out damage. And the biggest thing to me is he's not 1 out of every 3 Agni bombs. He's hitting all 3 of his Agni bombs. They're all doing damage. They're forcing actives. And, excuse me, and he's just putting out work.
It is pretty damn good to see it. And he's played these 2 characters. He's played Discordia and the Agni, and both of them have similar sort of ideas in so much of how they want to position themselves. They don't want to be right in the front line, but they need to be close enough to be able to do the rest of the damage. And I just feel that in this game, his Agni it's been able to be over the walls and far more effective because of it. And the CC that's coming off of it is just setting up so much of the rest of the team. As Pyromancer was being looked at, but not any ADCs here.
It's still a 4v5.
It is, because look what's happening on
4v5, and Backstab are looking to force it. Athena walks into 2, a good Odin cage onto 2 as well, but there's no follow-up yet. The Odin cage did nothing.
It didn't do anything, unfortunately. It just stopped Backstab's aggression because they really wanted to keep going with that fight. Terra, it's still available as Odin's Bird Bomb down in the backside. He's going to get collapsed on, and Terra keeping 3 people busy on the front line. Jablonke has made the rotation now, is working on it, but 2-man stun. Fenrir Ragnarok picks one up. He's taking them away from the rest of the team, trying to just disrupt the fight. Meanwhile, Lord Steino picks up Not Crazy on the front side. Discordia now being run down by 3 members. Can Immobile find it? Doesn't be able to find too much damage as he gets the Aegis, but will follow it up with the overhead kick. Meanwhile, 3 members still sat under tower, and they're looking incredibly low, and a perfect time to be wrapped around by the rest of the team.
This is one of the strangest teams. Actually, Jablonke in the backside hold that thought with a double kill with the Rising Jaguar and the Poison Darts claiming lives. Yeah.
Nice one.
I was about to say that these are the weirdest team fights I've ever seen.
That was the weirdest team fight I have ever seen. I will agree with you.
The Geb and the Terra are diving the enemy team, while the Raven, Agni, and Jablonke are peeling for each other.
Yeah.
I don't know how it worked. I don't know.
I think for me, the big issue in that was the fact that VL, he picks someone up. Great. His thought process is, I'm going to drag him to the tier 2 tower, rather than stand right in front of the people who are there, who can hit the target. Yes, it's the Terror, but so what? They're there for 2 seconds and they can't do anything. Abuse the fact that they can't do anything in there. Meanwhile, as you mentioned,
U-Rock cancel that is just so split, right? Odin's diving with the Athena, and Artemis is trying to help, and Discordia is trying to help, but Discordia blew her ult before the fight started.
Yeah.
Odin threw his cage down before the fight started. Ragnarok was used trying to peel, and the Athena taunt didn't really have anything to set up as far as impact, because the mage burst was down. The scary part right now for U-Rock cancel that is how now you've got to start thinking about defending on sieges, because at this point you're losing team fights, and you're just so blind that their Agni can not care.
Yeah, not to mention as well, because of his passive and combustion, he will be able to proc this Spear of the Magus effectively, fairly easily off one Agni Bomb itself, which means the follow-up from Terra and the Geb and himself will just be all that much stronger. A little bit of a loop round from Immortal Swift, but this tier 2 tower is still being looked at. Terra quite happy to tank this one up, stunning out the Artemis. Does have beads and ult available for them, but no damage yet, as Jabulonque is just trying to re-push up that left side if they really want to go for a Phoenix. But I think right now, just get the towers while they're still up, and then swing back for gold and look there if they really feel like it.
I mean, it's still a 4v5 because Jabulonque is still sitting in the other lane, pushing out waves, which is probably correct because you do need to push out waves. Backstab just needs to be very careful about when they want to start taking fights.
Well, speed buff was secured, but Fenrir currently sat with a buff himself. Discordia is going to get herself picked off. I mean, in the side lane. Fenrir's going to jump around for it as well. Darkness of Night comes through, but Mystic Rush jumps over the apple. 2 members stunned out, and Immortal does pick up Sweet Cold. Tier 2 tower in mid has fallen. Ragnarok trying to find someone, ends up picking up the Terror by the looks of it. But Lord Steino rains down absolute hell with the Agni Bombs, picks up a triple kill. 4 members dead, another one stunned out. Mid lane isn't going to be lasting long. Jabulonque in the 4v5 picks up the Gold Fury, putting on his best PvE. Not Crazy does pick up 1, and now this Phoenix damage is starting to hurt. But they will manage to get out in time.
You know, imagine if you had a Jabulonque here. This Phoenix would probably be dead.
This game would be ended.
You could have ended the game if Jabulonque didn't do that Gold Fury right now. But I mean, he is attempting to kill an Odin. He'll hit an auto one of these days. Maybe
one
that's
day.
why
That's what Poison Star's for. Poison Star is the Frostbound. Poison Star is the accepted Frostbound hammer. You don't want a Frostbound hammer on ADCs, but you want the slow from a Frostbound hammer.
And Poison Star, not for nothing, has the mitigations on it as well.
That is true. Or the damage
it's like Immortal Swift there on the Rev and may have
DC'd.
The big point in that fight, though, at the Phoenix was it was technically a 4v5, but it was really a 4v4 because Robin picked Discordia before the fight even started.
Yeah.
Sweet Cold was not involved in that fight. Her ultimate missed. She cast her ability.
I think she threw out.
They got Robin.
That was it.
You know, they got Robin dude, and Robin just Prana onslaughted her in the face twice, and landed on her, and pancake flat to the ground. Sweet Cold out of the fight.
Indeed. It's an awkward situation that happened there. All just trying to pick up a speed buff of all things as well, not respecting the potential damage. Like, at the end of the day, that speed buff did nothing for them. They died immediately after picking it up. There was no reason to go for that. So because of that, you end up in that situation. As you said, it's just a 4v5 and they completely fall apart because of it. But then again, you have Elmidaddy picks up someone and he's picking up Terra. So we have learned you can pick up Terra even through a passive. Just confirming that. Good science to be done here. But as he's doing that, Agni Bombs, 1, 2, 3, directly walking. And there's nothing he can do about it. He can either drop Terra where they want to be, which, to be fair, is in the middle of the fight where they can stun everyone out, or just sit there and try and walk through it. Lord Steino comes up with a huge set of Agni Bombs there, stuns out other members as well. And like you said, though, unfortunately, for some reason, Abu was sat doing the Gold Fury, which, fair enough, it's extended their gold lead to 13,000, but that could have been an end play there if they'd all grouped up there.
Lord Steino, to me, is the soft carry on this team most of the time. Judging from the last
carry, he's the hard
now
carry.
He's the hard carry. This Agni is just flat out
demolishing
people. It's steamrolling. You rock cancel that because they cannot deal with the amount of penetration, damage, and just Agni's ahead, you know, and when Agni's ahead, he's one of the scariest late game mages in the game, maybe second only to Scylla. And he just puts out consistent high amounts of burst damage with ranged CC. It's deadly.
I mean, Rain Fire is, everyone thinks it's like, oh, it's just one instance. You can fire all 3 of them at once, and it's 900 plus 210%. Now couple in the fact that you also get the Agni passive. Now couple in the fact that he has Spear of the Magus, so it's basically no mitigation damage there. Now couple in Rodder Tahuti passive as well. That's
plus an extra 25% of your magical power.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Agni does a lot of damage. It's the reason why Agni is first picked sometimes in sets, and I don't know that mages are that highly prioritized here because it looks like there's Xbalanques and Athenas and Artemises, but it's most likely top 3 draft in every single draft, I think.
Well, Fire Giant
has to sincerely think about banning this Agni.
Indeed. Well, Fire Giant has fallen off, will be up in under 30 seconds, but they do manage to still strip away the last tower. Gold in hand-wise, looks like they've all pretty much backed up. They've got about 1,000 to spend, which could be, you know, just finishing out getting the sentry wards, sentrying up for this Fire Giant, because I don't think that you Rock really have a way of getting in there and effectively stealing it.
No,
Their damage potential for it is all going to be on like a Defender of Olympus and hoping that Not Crazy can live long enough to get Defender of Olympus off. And even then, that's risky.
No, they have no steal potential. I think their best steal potential is honestly Finra Blink Brutalize or Finra Blink Unchained, and everybody else just hide in base and hope you can not lose the game in a 5v4.
Well, Fire Giant has been started up. Not Crazy does tell the rest of his team, guys, yep, they are definitely on the Fire Giant, but look how quickly it's
contesting 5v3.
What? What? Yeah, they are. VE-RV Daddy splits off one way. Odin is going to get himself chased down by the 2 front lines. Then Fury has been used, but the cage comes down. But Mystic Rush will get him out of that in this situation. Now just chasing for this Artemis. Darkest of Nights is being used as well, just to try and save them. They find Fenrir lazy backing. He is going to make it out, but good blink will save him there. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is knocking down on this right side Phoenix.
Cataclysm, the right-hand side, pushes out Yanrico with the rollout, claiming the kill. 600 crit from the Xbalanque. VE-RV Daddy gonna clean him up, diving a little bit deep there, pushing, and they don't have creeps. This is gonna be a very difficult siege.
Well, Golden Apple of Discord will disrupt them a little bit more. While they don't have as much Phoenix damage, they do need to be careful of this Odin cage. Immortal Swift does pick up VE-RV Daddy, but the Phoenix is still standing, and now they're going to have to disengage because their Hunter was off trying to chase kills in the fountain. Not where you want to see him when there's a Phoenix still standing. And again, another instance of where Backstab could have ended if they'd all grouped up and actually just hit the Phoenix.
Meanwhile, in the Titan room, Prana Onslaught claiming Sweet Cold life as Robin is going to try to end the game here, and honestly, I don't know if Athena can stop him.
I mean, he doesn't quite have the damage for it, but Phoenix will fall in mid lane to these archers. Meanwhile, Immortal Swift held himself off, and as you said, pancaked him. Now they have a little bit more of an opportunity to go for this Phoenix, but Artemis has been returned, and she does have ultimate as well, but she's all up on her own right now. Throws the ult, grabs Geb only in the stun. Will eventually hit Ravan, but he's fine.
Tusky taking a little vacation, ignoring the assassin warrior smacking you in the face and going off to bop the Guardian. This is why Artemis to me is sometimes a toss-up pick.
Was that a barrel ball?
What's that?
Was that an example of a barrel ball?
Yes, that was a Barra-Boar. Barracuda hunter for Space Station Gaming tends to yell at Tusky because sometimes Tusky goes where you want him to, and sometimes he takes a little vacation before he actually does anything remotely useful. And when it decides to not do anything, we call it a Barra-Boar. But this is why Artemis is kind of a toss-up pick, because there's RNG involved where that Tusky goes. Sometimes Tusky wins you a team fight single-handedly, and sometimes Tusky does nothing and you just had an extended beads. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I do like about the Artemis into the Xbalanque is just in terms of Darkest of Nights, Tusky will still ping through even through the blind. He's not affected by that. So that can be useful, but there's never been a situation where Darkest of Nights has come out in a team fight and VER are all grouped up and Backstab are all grouped up to where that's actually ever happening, which I know we've been constantly saying it's a 4v5, and I don't necessarily think it was planned by Backstab to be that way, but it's kind of worked in their favor doing this.
Action here. Looking at this left-hand Phoenix, looks like Terra wants to dip her toes into the water. Going to dash 3 into 3 people, 4 people even, as Agni bombs start raining.
Athena pushed very low. Cataclysm comes down. Abu Archangel picks up the first kill. Everyone's locked up with a cage, and the Tusky does now start rattling through people. Mystic rushing to the backside just to get out, and Darkest of Nights will buy enough time as Abu picks up a double kill. Focus the Phoenix, mate, behind you. He's taking a boxing trade with the Artemis, and he will get himself a triple kill. But the rest of the team now are looking for the Phoenixes. I guess Abu's now technically zoning.
He wants the quadra. Okay.
He's standing
this is okay. He's going for the quadra. He's going for the quadra. Oh, okay.
No, he's standing in the fountain. But he will get the end here. That's got to be game
Yes.
now. 5 members and Backstab. You said to me off camera, this should be a much quicker game. But you thought this was going away of you rock.
Man, I
Backstab.
thought you were at cancel that had this in the bag because of the lack of pressure that Backstab drafted. But Backstab showed us that they knew how to play without pressure, and they knew how to confirm their buffs, ward up in the early game, tighten up, and I mean, there were some mistakes from you were at cancel that in order for Backstab to be able to win 4v5s in the mid game.
Yeah, very well done from them. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to look at anyone, I'm looking mostly, it's got to be Lord Steino. Like, you look at everyone else, is like, you guys did fantastic, but Lord Steino ran through that middle lane. He ran the show when he...
If you don't vote Lord Steino, I'm pulling out the Polar Bear Michael quote here, you're actually trolling. Because this Agni did so much work. He was hitting triple bombs in every fight, stunning multiple people, getting multiple actives.
We saw that fight in the mid lane under tier 1 tower. Artemis turns up, Tusky pings through everyone. Oh, everyone's stunned out for a second. Guess we're going to back up. Immediately, Lord Soldier says, hey guys, how about I get a triple stun to set up the rest of this fight? Boy, would that be great. And that's exactly what he goes and does. Mighty God gets picked up by Fenrir, dragging him back under the Phoenix. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Immediately killed, triple kill, following it through. Mid Phoenix falls. Every time Lord Steino popped out his ultimate, the team fight turned in their favor. At least that's what it felt like.
It felt like it because that was true. And, there are some times you're thinking like, oh, well, there were other factors. A lot of other people were doing damage. True. Abu Archangel came out with some hot crits in the late game, and Immortal Swift was putting in work on this Robin that I want to see him on again or never again, honestly. But, like... Agni bombs did work. If Lord Steino gets Agni again, I'm real scared.
All right, then. So your bike's up against the wall. You're with VR. You're coaching them. What are you saying to them? Are you saying completely shake it up, new picks, ban away these Agnis? Are you saying you know how to hold this? It was an early game, or what are you looking at here, guys?
I'm looking at. I want to pick Zhong.
Give it a sweet code again.
Zhongqi did well for them. I want to pick Mercury. I know VL Me Daddy had some interesting Mercury shots, but at the end of the day, he needs to one-shot people because that's what he likes to do, I think. And other than that, I'm not too sad about what they're drafting. They might want to consider a warrior in the soul lane as well. But I think Jean-Phi has looked good on Athena. I think he looked pretty good on Sobek.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to change. You just go back to the picks that worked for you in the past and perform better and just execute.
I think for me, the one thing I want to see them on Chaos side. Get 2 picks instead of 1. They've elected to pick first pick both times, or in the coin flip they won, I believe they picked first pick. So maybe it's not quite as good.
Backstab won the coin flip and actually chose Chaos for the first game.
Fair enough.
And for the second game, you cancel that chose order.
All right. Well,
so
I want to see them on all the side. Just get 2 picks. They can get their Jean-Qui Athena. They can get their Jean-Qui Mercury. They can get 2 priority picks for them. But what about priority picks?
Supersonic, the votes are in. And chat is actually trolling. Mighty God 57 does end up getting MVP. Don't get me wrong. I think he played the game reasonably well, but
I mean, the early game, it was kind of out of his control that his hunter got poked out so much. But either way, congratulations to Mighty Steino. It was very close, but Lord Steino does come up second. Well, talking about coming up second, this could be the deciding game in this best of 5.
It could be.
Euro cancel that with the backs up against the wall, going into game 3. They have to win 3 in a row here, ladies and gentlemen.
Backstab was the first seed coming into this, and they were favored, but man, like I said, these 2 teams were exactly even. And as you were about to say, Supersonic, don't go anywhere because we're going to load up game 3, have it ready for you guys in just a few minutes. So VP. Like, yikes.
One live.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for potentially the last game of the grand finals for the E League. VER-VVX are at the back against the wall. Backstab Esports. They need just one more game. They've gone back towards being on the Chaos side again. And this time they've got the Athena, but they've also drafted the Ganesh. So, mighty God, not going to be playing the Athena, but they took it away from Jean Phi. I think that's a big, important one for this game.
And, you know, we were in picks and bans. This Agni was first picked on order side for U-Rock cancel that. That's back to this character on Backstab Esports. They could not give them Agni. And instead, you know what Backstab got? They got Athena, Jablanque. First two picks, that's exactly what they wanted. You know, they were planning that Sweet Cold was going to pick up this Agni just to get it out of the hands of Lord Steino. Lord Steino's come in with the Elephant Man, or not the Elephant Man. Is he an elephant? He's not an elephant.
No, Radiant's not an elephant. No, it doesn't have the trunk for it. But could you imagine the Ganesh mid? Have you seen the damage on Dharmic Killers?
Stop talking.
Have you seen that damage? There's a reason that was...
Is Raijin a monkey? I don't know what he is.
He's a thunder god.
He's just a dude.
He's just a dude. He's a dude with a fox who lives in his navel.
Moving
Japanese lore for you. But yeah, like you mentioned, he's playing another new god that we see from him, the Raijin. Again, similar ideas, wants to be in the middle of these sorts of fights, but the damage potential that comes out from it, not necessarily so much CC, does have a mez, but it's more just raw burst. And in these team fights, the Backstab have been taking, critical for them is Lord Steino's damage output.
Damage output and crowd control. And like you said, you know, I expected the Mercury to be picked up if it wasn't banned, and indeed it is. Actually, Mercury coming over the wall there, poking a little bit with the blink. Not able to claim the life of Lord Steino. Lord Steino going into this Warlock
stuff. I mean, if it worked last time, go for it. That being said, Immortal is running the Susanoo, so it's a much more bursty situation. I don't expect him to be going quite as front-liney as he was on the Ravan, but there's definitely a lot of kill potential set up in this. Both sides of things. Mercury's level 2, Agni's 2, certainly. And both Raijin and Susanoo as well have disgusting amounts of damage, especially early on. Actually, all game. I take that back. All game, that is disgusting amounts of damage potential.
Duo lane here, I think it's quite interesting. Just in general. Ganesh is a good pick into Kumbhakarna. Normally, I'm not a huge fan of Ganesh, but generally, I mean, the elephant interrupts the different ways with the dash and with the silence. And he outpushes Kumba, which is difficult to do because Kumba Root is disgusting at level 1. This is a good pick.
It's a good set of damage as well, but sitting at the lead on themselves at level 3 now. This should be caught up once Jean Phi and Yanrico clear off the wave, which it looks like that has happened now. No one's really gone for any invade potential here, but you said it before that Abu Archangel got his Jablanque again, and this was a pick which had those 4v5s. He just didn't rotate, pressed 4, and it was fantastic.
fantastic for it. And there, as you saw, Kumba to get out with the interrupt. Very well played there. Surprised they don't see any more.
He silenced it the first time. Second time he goes, he casts his one and then knocks him up. You know, Mighty God's playing this Ganesh real well in lane. I'm quite happy with it. It's a good pick.
Yeah. Well, Blink is coming up for VE-VVX. I'm expecting to see him use it again as soon as it's on cooldown. Wasn't able to force beats from Lord Steino, so isn't going to be able to make a play there. Could try and look to force the meditation from Mighty God, but you spoke to me as well earlier about this meditation, and you were looking at this saying, I want a shell instead.
You know, what instead of focusing on that, meditation does do. It provides in-lane sustain.
Yep.
It gives you health back, which Shell does not do, so you can use it after the fact. And it helps you stay out longer, and Xbalanque can suffer with that, but both the support and the hunter have decided to build mana pots, so they don't really need the mana sustain. And they haven't built the multi-pots, so and since they have lane pressure, they haven't needed any pots, really. I think I would have preferred the Shell, because you can upgrade it and get block stacks against this Mercury. But meditation can be a nice substitute.
It's a nice boon as well, especially if any of these team fights do come out early on where they just want to top people up. Immortal Swift's going to look to dive fairly deeply, looking to try and get some disruption in terms of
it's out of fight
goals, all that sort of thing. So it's more a case of get in, get out, heal up, go back in, than everyone survives the middle of the team fight. Again, Kumba silenced out of his route, and again the exact same way. Susano is here now. Jetstream's in, can't get anyone with the pull. Sprint has been popped. Meanwhile, solo Sai, VE-VVX, I believe, used his ult to get under tower there and push it back to the grave.
Sonic
he's gonna die here.
Another
He's
life.
gonna die
He's
here.
gonna die to tower. He was gonna die to creeps either way, so he chose the man's way out by tanking the tower. At least that one looks better on the co-feed.
I'll tell you what I really like there.
Oh.
We'll talk about that as Immortal Swift picks up a kill in mid lane on Sweet Cold. So very nice work there done by him. But I like the fact that he didn't go to clear the wave. I know that sounds really weird. It's like, oh, why did you not go to clear the wave? That seems stupid. You want to clear the wave, get the farm. But he wants to make sure that Not Crazy doesn't end up falling behind after having already got a kill on SM Bad. Like, he got a free back in that instance there. He wasn't able to stop any farm going, so he just doesn't want to then put behind this Kukulkan, who's already rather low. Well, about 50% of his HP.
Honestly, that gank didn't do much. You know,
it didn't do anything.
Which is $500. I like it.
Yep.
But the blue buffs were down. Athena had teleport. And she had full boots. So it wasn't even like you were forcing her back early or anything like that. So the gank does get 500 gold, but that's all it gets.
Bragging rights. That's what it is. Bragging rights. Let's up a little bit for this Kukulkan, but this Athena solo.
Raijin's beads are going to be forced out. Special delivery from Mercury, who's finished Hasten Katana before boots.
We've seen BL do this a lot.
From Lord Steino. Look at left lane now.
Ooh, Kumba misses the ult. And puts Rom right on the corner. Mercury special deliveries X-Bolt through, but he's dashing away. Wackee bombs off the mark. Darkest of Nights comes out, pushing Kumba very low, but he's still alive. Mercury channeling his ult. No one's else going to find it. Rom's up in the sky. One shot, two shot, third shot, can't connect. Xbalanque pelting autos into his backside. Sonic boom into a wall.
Well, I mean, he got the kill anyway. That's what he wanted, but VE-VVX maybe needs a lesson on architecture, because as you can see the pings coming out, showing that infernal wall that stopped him. And I'm sure there were some more pings coming out showing that infernal wall that stopped him at the right-hand Phoenix in that game 1, because I mean Merkult's, at least he's reacting quickly. He misses the Merkult, he immediately threes, so he gets in range anyway, collects the kill. Game 3 here.
Well, bit of a better start looking for you. Rock cancel that in terms of gold wise. Only 400 gold up as it currently stands, so not even the full first blood right now, but it's more about the momentum of feeling that, you know, we can take an early game fight. Last game they held early, but then things just started falling apart in the duo lane. This time, the VL needs to get back on.
Mid lane, Wind Siphon hits 2. What is it, Typhoon?
Jetstream. It is Wind Siphon for his 2. No, it's Wind Siphon, or is it Typhoon in the ult?
It was people locking them up, making them sad. And
that's all
Immortal Swift does in fact get out alive, but he does so without using his beads. A small gank attempt there, a 2v1 in the mid lane.
Raijin Still needs a little bit of damage from these Agni Bombs, but playing it reasonably well. Is going for that Warlock stuff, but finishes boots off beforehand, which I like the choice of. And I even don't mind the choice of picking up these 10 boots here, just because Raging already gets cooldown from his passive, so just do more damage.
Right.
Seems like a good idea to me.
And he wants to get online a little bit early and buffer some of this.
Left side, hold that thought a sec. Kumba knocked up. Dark Pillars comes through, cuts off the retreat. Everyone's backing up now. Mercury is here, hits the Sonic Boom onto Ganesh. Darkest Nights comes down, but Kumba goes into his Sleepy Time passive. No one able to follow it up. Pelting autos into the backside of Mighty Gods is everyone. Now Susanoo is looking for the Agni, but he can't quite find it.
Up in the drums, Tycho drums, trying to chase down this Mercury player, but misses 3 of them. Did Lord Sino looking a little bit less, a little more shaky on this Raijin than he did on the Agni in game 2. Unable to claim the life of VL Me Daddy in a clean, well not clean, but a 1-for-0 in favor of U-Rock. Cancel that.
Indeed, that looked like it started off as Backstab really wanted to just try and take this engagement, but they had no idea where VL Me Daddy was or where Sweet Cold was, and he made the rotation faster.
Target was Kumba. They got his passive, but
So that was it.
slept through it.
Yeah, just slaved through the rest of the team fight. He'd already done everything he needed to in that situation. Abu looking to just try and force him back. I love that. I love that. He went to push Kumba back further under the tower, on the back. Immortal. Viewing experience. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Two.
Welcome back, guys. We're coming back in with a little bit of action here, showing you the end of that one. Susanoo wrapping around the tower, getting Jean
this is
and
aggressive.
that is a Dharmic Pillar under tower.
Why? Okay.
Because Mercury wants a kill, that's why.
Punish. Punish the misplay. Mighty God.
No,
Thought the rest of his team was going to be there, but they weren't. Now Mercury's just going to chase down Abu. Does have his hastened and his boots completed. No way you're getting away from that, especially when Abu doesn't have his boots yet. Elected to finish off his Devoureur's Gauntlets instead. In that case,
I respect that play because Mighty God wanted the Ganesh kill.
I mean,
They're as rare as hen's teeth.
I mean, no. I mean, I know I was joking earlier when I said about Dharmic Pillars damage, but here's the catch on Dharmic Pillars. It doesn't do damage in the middle, only does damage on the inside as Sweet Cold. Using that passive effectively, Lord Steino can't get away from that one. Ends up burning out. Trying to be flashy with his plays there.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite sure. He just, yeah.
He got caught out on
is a big body. Agni has a lot of range, and Agni's gone for Bancroft too at the start of this game, so he just has tons of power. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, a gank attempt on Kokola.
Looking like it's going well. Susano isn't able to find enough damage in. Tum is missed, but Simbat will clean it up with the dash. Not crazy enough to get out of that one, it would seem.
Crazy enough to miss a taunt, though. Right? That's a bit of a yikes, but we'll move that one. We'll move along from that one. They got the kill anyway, so no harm, no foul.
Indeed, Mercury has dropped the blue buff as well, so not crazy. Not going to be able to pick this one up. He might be able to if he TPs in immediately and just dive straight for it, but with
mid lane, the aggressive dash coming out from VE-Elmi Daddy, and the Agni Bomb just off the mark. Dashes in aggressively. Still,
I was looking for it.
Drums are available.
Oh, the dash through, the disruption as well. Under tower, kills him. Clean out this VE-Elmi Daddy. Meanwhile, Susanoo gets deleted. No, he doesn't get deleted. Sweet Cold gets deleted. He dashed in aggressively. I thought he was dead to rights, but no. Tower MVP for that fight. I don't care.
Sweet
Tower won that fight.
Sweet Cold decided he wanted to be extremely aggressive. He dashed aggressively twice, in fact, and burned his beads under tower. So, you just calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
You're dead even. You had a lead. You don't have it anymore, but you can still win this game. You just have to regroup and play smart.
Indeed. I mean, I like the call to try and be like, hey, guys, gank the Raijin, kill the Raijin, because you know Lord Steino is a great playmaker in the middle and late game. You've seen what he can do.
Just finished his Warlocks, by the way.
Yeah.
So you got to do it now before he becomes too thick.
He going to be a thick boy?
He's going to be extremely thick.
Sweet. Well, hopefully he's not going to be making any of them sort of plays, any of them thicko plays like we saw from the last team fight. But nonetheless.
Wait, do you have a lisp? Or are you trying to say sick plays? Okay.
No.
Checking. Why would you say
thick
why would you call Raijin thick? That's so mean.
I wasn't. You called him thick.
I wasn't.
Is this a bait and switch? Is that what's going on here?
Can you believe this, man? He's trying to say I would call Raijin thick.
Talking about bait and switch. Left-hand side, Raijin was going for a gank, or Susanoo was, I should say, ends up getting turned around himself. Beads popped as Mercury ult and Kumba ult end up both being used, but Mercury went wildly too far. Nesh now gets his dash course. Nice hold there from the Agni stun, but the too much damage is coming through from Lord Steino. Puts one down. Kumbhakana turns into the passive. Abu Archangel will pick that one up. I'm looking here and thinking, hey guys, how about we go Gold Fury right now? Or how about we just kill Agni instead?
I'm thinking we try to kill anybody who shows up to this Gold Fury, and otherwise we just take it. Because we just got a purple buff, we've got a red buff.
What?
We're doing lots of damage.
We did just say that Raijin has only just finished his Warlock staff, right?
True.
Yes, 45 stacks through with it.
Backstab confirms the Gold Fury through the Rom snipes, almost kills 2 people. Did Yanrico unable to do so? That you were yelling about Tycho drums in that last fight. I'm looking at Typhoon. Immortal Swift nailed his ult through the heart of 3 people.
Yeah. I mean, both of them came through. It was the perfect storm of position and ultimate abilities. It was absolutely nuts. And it was a storm. That was a hurricane and thunder and lightning. Like, that is a storm. That is the perfect storm.
It's Typhoon, not a hurricane. You're lit. Hey,
which you want to go by, the tooltip or the ability name?
The ability name, obviously. That's what it's called.
Well, Raijin, eating 50% of his health there, is taking a lot of damage from Sweet Cold. As you mentioned, has got that Bancroft talent now, so he has a lot of damage in this early spike potential, and this kind of shows the difference in play styles. When we saw Lord Steino, he was more willing to go for this later game. I'm just going to go to Warlock stuff, be tanky. Meanwhile, Sweet Cold is just like, I'm going to burst you, I'm going to do loads of damage really fast, and you're going to suck it and cry, and that's what's going to happen.
Calm down there, Supersonic.
I mean, that's what it feels like Sweet Cold's wanting to play. I mean, we've seen him do this on things. I mean, we've seen him do that sort of thing even on when he was playing the Zhong Queen mid. He wasn't going any sort of a tanky build. He went a Warlock staff and a Gem of Isolation and a Bancroft's Talon and just told everyone to suck it. Like, that's what he did. But he's not been able to do that these games.
Were they crying in the first game or no?
I mean, people were crying. Tears were being shed, but I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Probably the coaches.
Oh,
Mercury's getting special delivery right in. Here's the Typhoon charged up, too far out of range for the knockup. And Wind Siphon, gets the pull.
Catches him, but a good epic uppercut, puts through some damage. Immortal is still able to kill VL Me Daddy, knock up onto the Kumba, still trying to find it. Good Agni stun, actually ends up picking up Immortal Swift. Now taunt damage comes through onto the Agni, finds the last one, uses it as a taunt, pushing through more damage. Aegis comes through, but he Ragins under tower. Cleans that one up anyway.
Good plays there, good plays. Backstab. I don't know quite why U-Rock canceled that we're fighting, because there's nothing on the map to take. The red buff was down.
I genuinely think that they were.
Backstab went for the pick. Like you said, I don't think they were trying to fight. They went
Mercury
and
just
forced it, and they're
dashed into
taking it to
someone.
Pyro.
Mercury dashed into someone because he turns the corner and sees people next to him, and he's like, I don't know whether he saw everyone, but he saw one person. Was like, I'm gonna pick this because I have teammates around. He wasn't quite expecting as much, and I hate to borrow a phrase from last game, but that was like a 4v5. Sinbad still had ultimate, didn't come in at all in that situation, respecting the team enough to just be like, hey guys, you got this. You don't need me over there.
And, you know, the big reason for that is he's laying against a Cucullin.
Yeah.
And his teleport is down. If he ults over, he loses a tower, loses pressure.
True.
And Cucullin probably invades backs and speed. And you know, you're not fighting over anything in the left lane at that point.
Because Gold Fury is already down. You've already taken that. Pyromancer is gone.
The most you're going to get is a tower and Pyro. And maybe you win it anyway. And he took the gamble and it paid off.
Yeah, well, Cucullin has expended his ultimate, does transform into the Rage mode. No backhands available this time. Actually dashes through the Wind Siphon. Thorns have been popped, but the Typhoon now holding him in place, knocked up and put down. Sinbad takes that one. Meanwhile, Mercury does Sonic Boom through the rest of the team. Raging dashing aggressively to find it. Ganesh cuts two off, just keeping the team in mind. Blink away, though, from VL, so he'll stay safe. Now it's Ganesh who's being looked at.
That was so well played by Bat there. He dashes in and holds taunt. Mercury respects it, knows his beads are down, and he blinks instantly. That is a blink for an Athena dash. That is worth. By the way, there's a left tower that's dead.
Oh, Ganesh. Oh, Ganesh, trying to just stop people backing. No one's actually going for like a fight or anything, but it's just to try and stop them. As you mentioned, Abu Angel.
He's getting a tier 2.
He's looking for the tier 2. Doesn't quite have enough damage for it. But he will just back up. He respects the fact that everyone's screaming, like, Mighty God's been like, guys, they're backing. You know, like, just back up.
And that's probably why Mighty God goes for that Dharmic Pillars, just to stop the back, to see if his Abu Archangel and the Shablanke can knock down this left-hand tier 2. He got it about halfway. To me, that's worth a Ganesh ult.
It's not too bad. Mid, Ping's coming out and definitely along in the mid lane. Mercury poked his head around but couldn't find anything for it, especially respecting the fact that there were still two people there. And again, as we mentioned in the first game, you can't really special delivery someone if there are two people there because the other will just turn on you. So just respecting it, just plays it safe. Has still gone for this exact same build of the Hazen Katana first, then the Ninja Tabi as... Hold on that sec. Backstab, taking another Gold Fury. No one's here to even try and contest it. I don't think U-Rock have any clue.
They have no vision, and they're so far behind that they can't walk anywhere without
Looks like they might not have a jungler if they're not careful. Mercury just able to get out of there. Instead, Dharmic Pillars comes down. Now we see Defender Olympus being channeled, chasing down for this tier 2. Red buff was already stripped away. Are they looking for a tier 2 here?
They don't have creeps for it. I said this is good because I didn't notice red was
left side.
Dead. They don't have creeps for that either, but I think they can probably 5-man it and take it pretty easily. U-Rock cancel that needs to be doing something other than defending this dead tier 2. They need to be pushing mid, pushing right, getting something. Because right now they're just losing it all.
Just looks like they felt dead in the water. Mercury is here, has the ult channeled. Meanwhile, the backside, Cucullin has rotated, gets 3-man knockup. Mercury Sonic booms through 2. Raging being the focus of the target. Meanwhile, Cucullin's just getting blown up on the backside. No one's helping him. Mercury destroyed by the Raging. Yanrico not able to find enough damage to find him with the last shot, but does pick up Abu Archangel. Rolls forward aggressively, but can't put in. Immortal Swift comes through to the backside, saves his mid laner. And all calculated plays, everyone low from Backstab Esports, but nobody dead except Abu.
Yeah, I find it funny. Before this game, you and I were joking about, you know, Raijin taunting in the Mercury at melee range. Ha ha ha, you know, if he crits you, you're dead. Ha ha ha. Yeah, he'll never do that. He's going to fear him the whole time. Ha. No, he taunted him.
Yeah.
And he won.
I mean, when you had
That's
Immortal
scary.
follow it back up with the blink, immediately knowing that if I taunt this guy, he doesn't have his beads available to it, that's free setup for the rest of the team. I can then immediately, this is my last shot, so I'm pulling him closer to me, mezzing him immediately. We said that, you know, oh, you're just going to get crit by Mercury, but he was just walking towards him and still walking slowly. Like, Hazen Katana wasn't active at that point. So really nice work there, and really, really clean team play from Immortal Swift. Now, this is interesting. Break down that item that he's finished there. Tell me about this.
The Urchin?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need to do any more damage. Susano is picked because he's got a great team fight ultimate, not because he's going to delete somebody. And in this case, Immortal Swift has been peeling a lot in these games, and he's been using, like when he played Robin, he was front onslaughting his own backline, essentially, because he wasn't diving, but because his tanks were. So I like the Urchin in this case. It'll keep him tanky. Yeah,
I really like that. As Defender of Olympus was channeled. Coming back over, Pyromancer is available, but only 3 members here, mostly just looking for the ward version. And you mentioned it before, like the way that Immortal has been playing this, it has been very defensive and very peel orientated. And it gets grabbed. Dominic Pillars comes out, torn back in. Mercury's looking to get away from this. Meanwhile, Susano over on the backside throws out the ultimate. Ram up in the sky now, trying to find himself some safety, but it's really just setting up the time for the rest of Backstab to turn up. 3 main gets hit by the Sonic Boom on the backside. Raging still pumping out damage. Susano gets out for free thanks to the work of his backline support, who's actually peeled for him the first time this game. Fantastic work and control there, stopping VEL Daddy, who got a fantastic ult and started punching Susano. Like, that's what a Murky wants to do. And then just no.
Well, as dashes come out, Ganesh dashing in aggressively gets the Agni's Aegis and a great 2-man taunt coming from the back. And Sweet Cold will claim Immortal Swift on the backside of this fight.
Cullen very low. X-Bolt tanking up the tower unintentionally there, but Lord Steino still waiting around the other side of the corner. Everyone's very low now. Have to back off and just get out at this point. It's too low to do anything. Raging's the other side can't find enough damage to get through 1 tick at the percussive storm, so Raging's still going to be active on Sweet Cold. Not liking the pathing and disengage that Backstab went for in that instance. Everyone was too low. They needed to get out and just leave as fast as they could.
Disengage. They tried to keep fighting, and they got punished for that, but I'm not sure what objectives UROC cancel that are going to be able to get. But I agree with what you said at the beginning of that fight. You know, Mighty God looks real solid on this Ganesh because he is healing very well. He's playing backline, and that's what he needs.
By Athena, epic uppercut, just doing absolute tons of damage right now. Even on the support, it's still good work. And now, Enrico will grab the Pyromancer. Quick look at the graphs will show that this is good for UROC. They're only 4.5 or just under 5k down. They were looking at 6k, so they've cut that lead by 1/3. Experience-wide now negligible for almost all intents and purposes. So this is their upswing. They're in the driver's seat. Gold Fury's coming back, and they're the ones making looks to be the ones who can take it. Or everyone's going to back instead. Never mind.
I think they need to back here. They just got a lot of money. They killed a tower. They killed some people. They killed a pyro.
Aki's got Soul Reaver in hand.
Yeah, they stopped a right push. They needed just to back to base, buy their item. And I like that call. It's more discipline.
Yeah, I can see that. Meanwhile, Abu will look to try and see what he can do for these oracles. Won't be able to get them, unfortunately. Meanwhile, looking for a red buff, potentially. I think it was just warding right now. Looks like these two teams want to try and take the fight over on the Gold Fury. As we see, Solo going to come back in via the ultimate channeled. Percussive Storm looking for something. Kukulin, no, he's kind of caught himself all off on his own. Gets a 5-man knock-up and 3-man follow-up, but Lord Steino immediately puts down the Elmi Daddy. We've seen that play time and time again. 3 times now we've seen that as Rom goes up, looking for any follow-up, can't find it, just eating basic after basic. Abu following in. No crit this game, but still chunking with those basics.
This is a tough game at this point. They needed to win that team fight. Did UROC cancel that? Because the fact that they didn't means they've lost all pressure. Minion waves are not pushed up enough in left or right to try to push that tier 2 tower and right. This is a fire giant pull, and I think it's a pretty safe one.
Looks like it's going to be Agni Bombs. Throw 2 off into the backside of Ganesh, but he's fine with that. Meanwhile, Fire Giant is destroyed. And I believe this isn't the Enhanced Fire Giant, even though it is past 25 minutes, but it's the one that spawns after that. So not quite as good as it could be, but it's still a Fire Giant. And
it's a Fire Giant.
5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it's a Fire Giant. You want Fire Giant.
Yeah.
I think Urok Cancel that needs to be very careful of positioning of not crazy in these fights. Actually, Taunt's going to come out. Garmic Pillar's just off the mark. Kumba ult, though, going to be burned and a shell burned as well. That's a lot of abilities down.
Indeed it is. Sweet Cold Burn, all 3 Agni Bombs. Doesn't have any of them available, but should be up fairly quickly. I'm not sure exactly what the Dynamic Pillars was coming out for, but the Taunt follow-up just pulled back Gene Fee. Did burn Epic Uppercut, as we mentioned, but that's on a fairly low cooldown, so it should be around for the next fight. And I want to see Backstab here just... They need to play and push on these Phoenixes, and they want to try and do that quickly, but they are respecting the fact that they do have gold to spend. So Raging finishing off that Rudder to Hootie now. He's really starting to chunk as Abu's got his kin size online, working on Titan's Bane now. Everyone's really hitting critical mass in terms of
I'm very concerned about this Raijin build because it has Divine Ruin for pen, and that's it. Yes, you have a couple Void Stones, but you don't have enough penetration to burn down a tanky target. This Raijin build is basically kill the Mercury before he kills me, which is worked out what he's trying to do.
And to be fair, it has worked out. Every time VER-VVX has tried to do anything, Raging has just turned around and said, no, sit down. Susano blink. Well, not blink for, but jet stream forward. Wasn't able to find anything from anyone. But, we got Kumbarot from it. Damn. That's a lot of respect. As SM Badat going to be split pushing down this tower. Does have ult available to them, but I'm not 100% sure where Backstab are trying to be right now as mid lane. See Dynamic Pillars come out. Kumba just stuck, not being able to do anything but zone. What everyone else, it was a bait and switch. See the bait and switch, right side tier 2 tower goes down instead. Now everyone's starting to loop back around for that.
Watch where not crazy positions himself in this fight. The last ones, he's been caught out a little bit and forced, he's gotten big ults, but without any follow-up.
Yeah.
Athena dash, no taunt yet. I want to look to try to taunt down one of these tanks possibly. Jablonke, though, in mid lane, split pushing with Ganesh here. They're splitting the act very well.
Very good work. Off the mark was the Sonic Boom. This time Dark Knights comes out and robs everyone. 2 people taunted. Epic Uppercut does come out, puts one up into the air, and that was the Jablonque. So Phoenix still standing. Meanwhile, Not Crazy ends up falling to Lord Steino, and both these Phoenixes now are being aggressed on. Agni over here gets taunted. Beads used and Dash gets hit by the Susanoo jet stream. There it is. One more basics, all he's going to need, and that's exactly what he gets. Beads versus Susanoo. He may still fall here in trade, but 2 Phoenixes for the jungler and 2 kills. I'm screaming worth with that. And a speed buff to boot.
Keep in mind, you know, this is Backstab's possibly last game of the set. If they win this game, they've just won the finals. You know, Urok Cancel that has to defend on their Titan room now, or they are out of this tournament.
I need VER-VVX to change this up. And that's what he tried to do. He wasn't looking at Lord Steino last time. He was looking at Abu, Archangel. We saw the exact same thing come out from Gene. But exactly, he missed. He missed the ult on there in that instance. So wasn't able to find the damage that he wanted to do. Also as well, just they never really committed to either one of the defenses. Backstab throw 3 people in one lane, 2 in the other. So they don't defend the tier 2 mid tower. So right side falls. Then they're concerned that they're going to get pincered around because everyone else is not now in right lane. And so back off from there and don't end up defending either lane when they could have done.
Backstab does a great job of splitting the attention of Urok Cancel that. And honestly, I don't know how Athena Raijin, without his Gem of Ice, or rather,
without any real pet,
kills Not Crazy on this Kukulkan. I don't know how they managed to do it, but they do it. You know, the 2 Magicals killed one of the tankiest members of Urok Cancel that, and under a Phoenix, and get the Phoenix. That's crazy. You know, they're just that far ahead.
Indeed. Well, look at the graph, show you just how far it is. 14,000 gold in, 12,000 as well. So this is starting to look like the writing's on the wall. The fat lady is warming up her vocal cords. She's got her water. She's reading through the sheet music now. Fire Giant is due to respawn, and it looks like Backstab just want to take this one patient, find the Mercury on his own, blink forward by the Susanoo, isn't able to get the knock up, will force the Sonic Boom, and this is a big important cooldown for them. Donic Killers through, Agni,
Sonic Boom's still up.
Immediately, Raijin, dang, through everyone. Mercury has got his ult available to him, won't be able to fire it through. In fact, he does, but it hits absolutely nobody. Meanwhile, Kumbhakana just being run down. Susanoo very low, gets picked up by Yanrico and a little bit too deep without the rest of his team, but Athena dashing forward, doesn't have taunt up available just yet, but the damage dealers are following through, and they could look to try and force an end here if they really feel like it. They get Mercury here, and they do get the dash.
They get the dash, got his beads, his blink is
he's
down.
Gone. Goodbye.
Does not have his ult, he can't go anywhere.
That's game. That's got to be game.
It's got to be game.
This could be. It's all up to Kukulkan. Doesn't have ult available to him. Yanrico putting work in, kills one of the tankies. Now Kumba goes down into his ultimate, ramps up in the air. Can't find it. GMP falls down to Abu Arche, who not crazy, picks up Lord Steiner. That's a lot of the damage, but it's still being turned around. Abu Arche, who pelting basic after basic through. It's all on Ram. Can he hold here? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. He's going to get controlled and burn. Abu Archangel finishing it up in style with a that triple kill.
I feel for VL Me Daddy a little bit there because he ulted all the way through that team fight. We didn't see any animations of that Sonic Boom hitting anybody, but it looked like it hit every single member of Backstab Esports there. I am shocked that Sonic Boom didn't do more. Would they have been able to defend if it did? Quite possibly, because of how much damage Yanrico did at that last instance just to try to defend that game. Honestly, it may be a 3-0, but this set was a heck of a lot closer than it was.
It was a 30-minute game. It was two 30-minute games and a 50-minute game. So all in all, you're sitting on for at least 2 hours of Smite play between these two teams. And to say that this was only 3 games is an understatement and selling it incredibly short here, as we do already have the MVP, it would appear, coming here. Well, we're going to be going on to the MVP here, and that's a difficult one because Lord Steino did work. He blew up the Mercury, but at the same time, Immortal Swift
for my money.
Abu for the late game, like it's absolutely nutty.
I'm gonna say I agree with Immortal Swift because I think he played that game very well. Like his wind siphon or his typhoons rather were on point. But unironically, I criticized the choice in game 1. Mighty God 57 on this Ganesh actually looked extremely good, and I would not be shocked to see either Immortal Swift or Mighty God pick up MVP in this third game set victory. Backstab Esports taking the finals in a spectacular fashion.
And they did it very well, and I love the fact that the way that this team played, they played each game with different characters, but with the same core mechanics and ideas behind them. We saw the way that they were able to play this. They changed things up. They took a 50-minute game, and sure, it was sloppy. There's no mincing words on that. That was not a game that you look at and go, this is a finals game. Then they just knuckle it down. It's like, all right, guys, what did we screw up? We screwed these things up on our Phoenix offenses. They fixed it, immediately following up into a fix. We then see Geb Solo come out somehow and still set up eventually. We see Athena Solo come out and set up eventually.
These players are not used to playing on the stream. And for perhaps the first time in the tournament, they knew this game was going to be streamed. Because before, it's always been, you don't really know who they're going to stream until it's already on stream and casted. These players knew this was coming. I think that first game was all nerves. Backstab showed us what they were made of. Immortal Swift claiming the MVP with the Susanoo performance from this game, and I think a well-deserved MVP. Played, Backstab.
Honestly, for me, he's probably MVP of the entire set for me, just because he was so consistent. He built for the offense early game to synergize with Lord Steino, then followed it up. He was peeling like that last set where we see, or on the left-hand side, Rajin's taking the 1v1 with Mercury. It's like 10 HP on either side. What does Susanoo do? Turns up, peels for his mid laner, gets the kill, keeps everyone alive. That is the perfect set of play. Like, we see these kind of plays coming out from like Ice Ice Baby with this level of team synergy. And these are guys who've been together for, 5-6 weeks now? And to say that they've got that level of trust and team synergy coming through, it's phenomenal to see that.
4 weeks or less is the maximum amount of time these players have had to play with each other. And it does look like a team. It really does. And I'm very impressed. I think we've got an opportunity to have an interview with somebody from the winning squad here. I'm not quite sure when that's going to hit us, but
Production will tell us. Production, come in.
Yes.
Production, are you there?
Hello.
The point where we need you to hear me. Screaming at us, but still, yes. I believe we will be looking for an interview. Just getting word from production as to whether or not we will or won't have that. If we won't, then you can blame Illy for that, as he was what who set that up.
Absolutely.
But nonetheless, like the best thing I can say about this today is we still have another finals to go through. There's still the NA finals to come through later on today, and if this is what we're seeing already from one set of finals, I so look forward to seeing what comes up next.
All right, it looks like we've got somebody joining us from Backstab here. Who do we have? Which one did we pick?
I'm Mighty.
Mighty, the Mighty God 57. Well,
welcome,
Yeah.
welcome, friend. We've got a couple of thoughts for you. Just get a couple thoughts from you here. You guys just won the European side of things for the Smite Little League this season here. How's that feel?
Pretty good. Was expected, but it's good.
A man of few words. I mean, you guys.
when you play like that, you let your actions speak for you, because we saw
Right.
some fantastic plays coming out from there. I just wanted to really ask in things, how was it when you guys realized that for the first game you were going to be having a substitute in? Was that kind of like, did you feel there was more pressure on the rest of the team, or was it just a case of, we've got a
Yeah, I
sub?
think it showed in our gameplay. We're sort of trying to play around our sub rather than playing our game.
Mhm.
So it impacted us, but we played okay.
Yeah.
So that was obviously, it was a 51-minute marathon for the first game. And the next two were 30-minute relative sprints. How did that change of tempo? Did that 51-minute game really hurt you guys, or did it just get you guys warmed up and ready to go?
I think we worked on our issues. Like we normally play 2 tanks, whereas we had a Zong game 1, so we couldn't really engage because I didn't get blink. So it
Right.
ended up being a real long game because sieging is just really difficult this season as it is.
Yeah.
But game 2 and 3, we just got enough of a lead that we
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can, you guys like buy Lord Steino a beer and buy Immortal a beer, because those two peeling for each other was absolutely insane, and I can only imagine that the comms were would have been fantastic to listen into. So if anyone has recorded those comms, please let me know, because I want to hear them.
Well, it's just Immortal shouting "kill, kill, kill." So,
I mean, to be fair, that is kind of what you guys did. So congratulations for the wins and things. Do you have any final words before we let you guys go?
I'd just like to shout out Spug, our honorary coach. He was the whole reason we managed to do this.
Well, thank you very much.
Spug making it to the finals, even if he's not here, the almighty Spug squad, of course, fell to victim earlier in the group stages, but making his immortal name even known through the finals of the European series. Thank you to our guest here, to Mighty God 57, coming in for the quick interview. On behalf of production, myself, and SuperSonicBlur, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. And hopefully we'll be able to do more of this, but that'll be up to you guys to decide. If you guys want to see more of this, participate in more of this, let us know, because I'm not gonna lie, I had a fantastic time running this. And if we just keep doing this, I want to see this as like a regular thing. SPL's a regular thing. Why can't we just make SLL a regular thing? We can do it. We can do it.
Certainly, it's definitely very rewarding. The goal of the program is basically to teach players how to play better. And just from the improvement we saw from game 1s to game 3s in the final set, and tons of things were fixed. And this is a tournament of people who are gold, silver, and bronze. And
that game didn't look like gold, silver, bronze level. Like that.
It was a highly competitive game at a reasonable level of Smite, and I'm quite impressed. A lot of shout out has to go out to all of the coaches involved in this on either side of the coin, because without them, this tournament would not be possible.
Indeed.
We had no coach.
But all right, fair enough. Just imagine how great it would have been if you guys had a coach. Like, think of that, every team. But yeah, shout outs on that side of things, working it through with that. But that will do it for the EU side of things.
We will have the NA finals coming up later, and I believe it will be JMac and F-Dot who will be bringing you those. So stay tuned to the Discord to know when that stuff will go live. But for now, I do believe that will wrap it up here. So as we said before, thank you very much for watching and joining us for the Smite Little League EU side of things. We hopefully will see you all very shortly with the second season of the tournaments.